Greetings, 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 family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful day? Or night, should I say? Tonight is the night after Sunday, which was yesterday, which was the daytime. Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. This is November, well, it was November 2nd, 2025. We're in the night between Sunday and Monday. And this is Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation. We're here every Sunday evening, or Sunday night, should I say, Sunday night at 9 p.m., the night after Sunday at 9 p.m. And here it's just open conversation. We have open conversation of different situations and information. But at this moment in time, I've just been sharing. It was brought to my attention a while back to share my life story. So I'm kind of going over everything. Um, I'm kind of going over kind of like my life a little bit. And I know I'm not sharing every point, but a lot of it is just I'm just going through trying to remember certain things as I go. So in between the points, I can pick up. But before I keep going on, I'm going to pray first, as I always do. Start off with a prayer. And then we're going to go into what the creator or what is here for us tonight to learn and understand. And by doing this, this gives me a chance to really piece some stuff together compared to whatever, because I did a lot. So as I'm sharing this story, I'm learning, I'm going back over a lot of things that I went through in my time past. But other than that, blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of the 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help lead and guide others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way. Help us in every way. Teach us your way and let us keep growing in your way, your word, your law, and your voice. We ask you to forgive us of the sins and things that we have done in time past, today's time and time that we may not know about. And we ask you to correct us in measure and allow us to know and understand your word, your will, and your way. We ask you to forgive us, our ancestors, and our forefathers for the things that they have done. They taught us to come against you and let us turn from the ways of the world and turn back to your laws and your ways and be obedient to your laws and your ways. We ask you to help us in every way, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise you, Almighty. Praise you, Almighty. Thank you, Father. Now, just to share with you, as I was saying before I start praying, yeah, I'm going over my life story, the kind of like the history of my life. But I know everything isn't there. There's a lot that's missing. That's the reason why I'm sharing information in between times. That way I can always go back and if I decide to do a story, a book, or what have you, I can always be like, okay, no, I did this, because I know it's a lot that I'm missing. A lot of friends that I haven't even mentioned. A lot of incidences that has happened, and you only can do so much in a little bit of time. And I'm just going over everything. This is Mikhail's question and answers 13 and 14. Mikhail's life, Mikhail's life story, question and answers 13 and 14. Life of Mikhail, question and answer 13 and 14. So this is 13 right now, which is part one. I always have two parts. Because on live, Facebook, and Instagram, I have part one and part two. Live, excuse me, live YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, I have part one and part two. But the full version is on X, formerly known as Twitter. The full version on YouTube, Juice Pro 33, which is under video, and the full version is under Patreon .com// LKHYYM, and the full version is on Patreon and Rumble.com / LKHYYM. So the full versions are on those. And like I say, I'm just going over my life story, just putting pieces together, getting things together, before I go into a book mode or maybe a movie. Who knows? It was very interesting. A lot of stuff right now may seem boring because the way I'm just bringing it, because I'm remembering as I'm going through. But if the real questions was coming, or if it was just like if I was actually being interviewed, and I could just talk about certain things at certain times, it'd be a different story. But um, brother G1 is the one who brought up the information that I should probably tell my story because of some of the things that he's heard or some things I shared at the time that was in conversation. But just telling the story sounds a little boring, but it's a lot more than what you think. Especially with my dancing. I dance a lot as well. So what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start back from where I remember where kind of where I left off. I made it to Atlanta. Um, it is the end of 2004, beginning the end of 2004, which was actually middle of 2004. I made it to Atlanta. Stayed with Gabriel the first night there. Was trying to connect with Kingdom of Yah, and that was just a whole different ordeal because of just the mentality. I just gonna put it like that. Not putting anybody down or up or anything like that. Just the mentality of certain people that you deal with. I just knew who to deal with. I put it like that. So end up moving out in Norcross because I moved out. When I brought my cousin, helped my cousin moved out there. That's where I found my apartment at. End up going out to Norcross. The second day of June, in order because they didn't have my apartment ready, and I paid for it, and it wasn't ready on the first, so I ended up moving in on the second. And as I shared also, ended up letting the brother move in, trying to help him out, and ended up that was the wrong choice because sometimes some people may be going through certain things that they may have to get whooped, and you can end up getting a whooping behind the person that's getting whooped because of the whooping that the creator is putting on them, and you're stepping in doing something you shouldn't be doing. So that ended up happening because I ended up falling off and in a few jobs that I've gotten, um, in the few jobs that I've gotten, I had ended up smoking a little bit here and there and just chilling and doing certain things and stuff like that. And I had the wrong environment around me, ended up losing the jobs, right? So got to the point where and like I said, also I met this brother named Mitch, Freddie Mitchell, but we called him Mitch. Me and him, we was tight. We got tight. Studied a lot. Always talking about the Bible. Like me, I've been wanting to talk about lessons like no different than today. Always been one since I've been through my spiritual awakening. I was growing and growing and growing in the scriptures, right? So me and him, we always talk scriptures and we talk about knowledge about um, health, health, being healthy and things like that. Um, that's my boy Mitch. So we hung a lot, was going out and stuff like that. And this was in 2000, this was like around 2004. This was like around August, November, because I moved there in June. And, I was hanging out here and there, got a job at UPS, got a job at U-Haul, transferred from U-Haul out there on Jimmy Carter. That's where it was, Jimmy Carter near 85, I believe, and ended up going to the one down there in downtown Detroit, downtown Atlanta. Um, was working there for a minute, eating up, as I shared last week, got pissed at the manager there because I was the only one out there working. He was acting like I was 10 men and rushing me. So I snapped and broke and I left. Excuse me. But I had other friends at the U-Haul. Just remember that because I remember a couple times they used U-Haul. I had already made friends at other U-Haul places. You know how sometimes you have connections. I was always good at making connections with other people, and I thank the Creator for that. I don't want to say I like saying God. I thank the Creator for that, and that almost slipped out. I didn't know how that came. I always say Yah. I thank Yah for always being able to connect with people. You know what I'm saying? Connect with people, build with people, not just for me, for them, vice versa. I get information because I'm always keeping numbers, right? Always keep numbers and just get to know people. So end up moving from end up moving from my apartment out there because of the brother and then his company that he was keeping. End up losing that and end up and now I'm moving. I remember moving first with not someone not too far from me in that area out there in Norcross. Stayed with them in the room for a quick minute. Okay, go G1 coming in. Greetings, G1. Glad you can make it, bro.
Yo, peace, peace. Just
Peace, bro. Yeah, I was in the middle of just sharing the information about when I was in Atlanta.
okay.
Lost my first apartment there. Actually, had my first apartment, lost my first apartment there due to being with the wrong environment, inviting the wrong environment into my home, and lost a few jobs by being in the wrong environment, smoking a little bit here, and then got it came up in my urine and stuff or in my test. So I was there for like about 2 or 3 weeks, and before I can finish my time out, they had to let me go. A lot of the jobs wanted me. They like my work. They like my work ethic. They said, yeah, but we gotta let you go. Your test came back negative, came back bad. I was like, dang, but I had several jobs and I had to be let go. And this is what I meant by when I was sharing earlier with everybody. That the fact is that you got to watch who you're bringing into your surroundings. And this is when energies, and I didn't know about energies like this at first. Now I knew the Bible. I learned the Bible when I was in Mississippi. I learned the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, and everything throughout. I really understood what I was learning. You can almost say religiously, but it was things still in the Bible that was there that's a part of life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean religious. I'm just saying that's life. So now I come to understand later on that certain people around you, it all depends on the company they keep and the energy that they're in. You can tell if a person have good or bad energy. Now you have certain stones and stuff that will give you, and that's something people don't understand as well. Like I wear an organized energy conductor. I don't have it on me right now. Usually I have it on. I left it in the room. Yep, it's in the room. Usually have my organized energy conductor on me, and it's not a pendant or something you worship or like a cross or nothing like that. It's actually energy from an organized energy conductor that actually repels negative energy and attracts positive energy. You know, and this is when I started learning about. Well, that was later on after I got the machine, but that is after 2007 when I started learning that part of the information I'm talking about right now. But like I say, this is 2005, 2004, 2004 going into 2005. I just made it to Atlanta. I'm out there. Um, got my own apartment. And like I said, got this brother, let him move in with me. And then end up losing the apartment within, I think by 2006. Yeah, 2006, I was in the apartment with this brother named Obadiah. But before 2010, it was in later around 2005. Yep, sure was. It wasn't too long. I was only there for like about 3, 4 months, maybe a little longer. Going into the winter, yep, of 2004. Now that I'm thinking, around 2004, going into the winter, I was still there, and I was kind of going heading out because of non-payment of bills and stuff like that, and really wasn't getting help from the people that I brought in. There was, there was freeloading companies. See, that's what I'm saying. You start understanding people by their character, and you trying to help people. You think they're cool, but cool ain't got nothing to do when it comes to bills. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going back and I'm trying to move forward slowly as I'm seeing things because I actually listened to some of the last weeks because I was just kind of flabbergasting through it. But now I'm just trying to walk through the Atlanta experience while I was there. I'm trying to walk through it a little slower. So from 2004, the latter part, or just before the latter part, 2004, me and Mitch met up. We got cool. We worked. I think we were working together. No, we were just hanging out. We was hanging out. He introduced me to his family. I didn't have any family there at the time because it was just me. I did have a family there, but I didn't know him at the time. I had to get to know him later on. But like I'm saying, that I was there, got jobs, few jobs, and they had to let me go. Now Uh, now it's I've what was this is around late 2004. Later in 2004, I put it like that. Later in 2004, um, I ended up moving into this house with this sister. Um, was there for a little while, and then ended up leaving there, and then up going to this sister named Alonia knew this brother named Abadai. Now Alonia was a dwarf. She's someone I met and knew. Man, the company, a lot of people knew her in the Hebrew Israelite community because she was short. She was real short. She was you would call her a dwarf, but she wasn't really a midget, but she was a dwarf. She was like about 4 or 5, wasn't even 5 feet, about 4 or 5, something like that. She was short, come up to like about maybe a little bit higher than my waist, maybe a little bit, maybe just a little taller than that. But you know, she was a good friend of mine. She told me about this brother named Abadiah, which was a Hebrew Israelite. He stayed in a community in Clarkston. Yep, he stayed in a community in Clarkston, um, not too far from Stone Mountain. Clarkston and Stone Mountain's not too far from each other. So, and that was off Memorial Drive. There you go. That was off Memorial Drive. And just remember stuff as I go. So, like I said, me and Mitch, we used to go out all the time. We used to go like little sports bars, just go out, hang out. And I used to do some karaoke, and I used to go out. I used to dance a lot. Like I said, dancing was my thing. So I went out. We would go out, sit down, chill, go out to parties and stuff. That's one thing I was glad, kind of like glad that me and Mitch was connected because he was good for going out, he was he. I'm just all I'm gonna say about him. I'm not gonna put, the way he was or anything like that. But he was a good brother. Me and him was tight. We would hang out. We would go out to bars and stuff like that. And like I said, I do a little karaoke, but mostly I like to dance. But and you know what? You know how those naive people are. And I'm tell you, I was like, this was me. I've always been this way. You know how some people can go to clubs and get the girls? I wasn't that type of person. I go to club, I like to dance. And it was just like me, I just go and dance. Just have a good time, dance with girls. Wouldn't have an idea if these women like me or not. Wouldn't even be paying it no attention because I'm that naive. That was me. Now I'm just giving my understanding. I was naive to if women really liked me or not. I really didn't know. So if you would think, which I know I could have, thinking now that I'm older, being the person, being the man I am today, to understand and see things for what things are, I could have been leaving with all kind of women if I had the mindset like that. But my mindset wasn't like that. I'm glad I wasn't like that. I'm glad my mindset wasn't like that. Because it's been plenty of situations that I was in that people thought that I was approaching them that way, and I wasn't. And I really wasn't. I really just was just friendly. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. Let's hang out. Let's do this or whatever. Even the girls, I would say, but I wasn't trying to talk or come on to them. I would just be like, hey, naive. Actually, one of those naive beings. That was me. You know. I remember you people said, man, I bet you get all the girls. I'm like, what you talking about? People used to say that. I mean, like I said, I met a lot of people, had a lot of friends, had a lot of associates, a lot of people I got to know. And even if women did, they never came on me, so I would never know. So I'm just put that point out there. So like I said, me and Mitch, we would hang out, we would go, we would run, we would go to clubs and stuff like that, right? Um, Now I remember. I'm trying not to miss nothing, but I remember, like I was sharing that last week as well. I was doing choreography for this brother named Boo Boo Black, which is Terrell Williams, which is Cephas's brother, right? And I also went back and told y'all what happened in '99 when me and Cephas had to go to Atlanta for to take care of some business because of whatever he had to do, with his brother, something that he had to do with his brother's situation. So I rode out to Atlanta with him in '99. And I felt the energy like I need to be there. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in Atlanta. So that was in '99. So I ended up making it to Atlanta in 2004. Not even they had nothing to do with the connection. Just end up going out there because my cousin had moved out there. So, but now back to the latter of 2004. Um, I remember, like I said, me and Mitch met. We hung out. I was one, I was a worker because I was now I'm working for U-Haul, and I'm in a different area now. So now I think it would I don't know if I would catch the bus downtown or I was traveling. That's why I had a vehicle. I had a red Trans Am that I bought from this brother, not bought fully, but I was paying on it from this brother named Shaleen, a Hebrew brother that was, he got in the point of selling cars in Mississippi. So I had bought that car before I left. But that car had later on, after going out, after traveling so much, that car had a lot of electrical issues. So it was a lot of time that car was broken down around town. I had to go and get it. I had to have it towed, but I took care of it because it was a debt that I owed the brother. So I end up had to, and I think this was around the same time. Was it 2005? It was around 2005 when I had to take that car and then a woman, a sister, like I said, a friend of mine, she was a singer. I told her, I said, my children need me, but I can't make it to Detroit. And the car I got, it ain't gonna make it. It don't even start. She said, well, I'll try to make it the best way I could. And I said, yeah, you're right. So I tried to start up, didn't even make it to Alabama. And that car broke down on me. So my sister and my brother ended up coming and pick me up. And this is sometime in like spring of 2005, I believe. I think it's around the spring of 2005 at this time. So, um, yeah, yeah, it was for 2006. So it was around spring of 2005. Because I'm remembering a lot of other things happening after then. So now I need the car with my mother. 'Cause my brother and my sister, they came out. He came out with his with like what you call it, a trailer. Put the car on the trailer. We rolled back to Mississippi, and my mother ended up getting the custody of my two youngest, which was Latasia and Junior, Mike Mikael Jr. She ended up getting the custody of them. Now I believe she had custody for 2 years. Yeah, I believe she had custody for 2 years. But I think just before that is when 2000, yeah, because 2007 is when I got my machine. So yeah, she had custody. My mother had custody for 2 years. But I think just before that, she ended up coming to Atlanta to visit her sister, and she came over to visit me with the children. I forgot when in this time, because I remember taking the children to a school that she had them enrolled in before she got them, and then she left, and then the situation, whatever happened with the situation with my child, my son getting bit up. They said a puppy did it, but I know it was his brother. And it had to be his brother. His younger brother, I mean, his older brother, but his one next to him, the second oldest, had to do it. But he had bite marks all around his body. That's when we had to go there. And that's when my mother ended up getting the custody for 2 years. So a lot happened in that situation. But and yeah, I remember. So it was in 2005 when she got custody, and that's when that happened. And because when I made it there, they had already had court. I couldn't do nothing. Like I said, my car was messed up. And it always seemed like something was when you sit back and observe your life. I just want to tell whoever's listening. If you ever sit back and observe your life, you can see how things play out in a certain way, where either you were supposed to be there or you are not there for a purpose. It was something that stopped you from being where you need to be. If you ever just sit back and just observe your, because I've done that. I've done it. I've watched it. I've seen the reason why I left Detroit and when I was in Atlanta, and when I was in Germany. I sat back and watched like when I had to leave my lady in Germany to come here. Well, I was in Mississippi at the time. Just when you sit back and just observe life, you can almost see a pattern in your life. And if you just look and observe and just watch what you've been through, and at certain points, you can see things. That's what I've been through. And I recognize certain points in my life, you know. So, like I said, my mother ended up getting the custody of my children, but they did was so before that, I think before that happened, because I was pissed at her at that time. So it was before that happened is when they came to see me and they was at school and stuff like that. Then she ended up going back to Mississippi because she came to visit her sister and she stayed with her sister for a minute. Then if she had them enrolled in school and then she came and brought them by me and I believe, or it was right after that. Because I'm thinking I had alkaline water and we gave Mikael some alkaline water. He messed all over himself because they pushed all this stuff out. So I'm trying to think, was it at that time or was it not? Can't remember exactly. But it's either, I know it was 2 years when mom had me. That was 2005 to 2007. And I'm still trying to think on that situation with when they was with her when I was taking them to school. I think I was still carrying Mike, and I think Latasia was walking. So I'm still trying to remember. Can't remember. But on those two situations. But yet and still trying to get to the end of not to the end of the story, but just still moving on. Um in 2005, like I said, we were doing a lot. Oh, now in 2005, this is when I met Desiree. This is when Boo Boo Black was doing his thing. This is when I started getting on the train. Actually, now I'm staying with Obadiah. I had to move with Alonia introduced me to Obadiah. Obadiah's a Hebrew brother. He was cool, had his own apartment, and he was renting his rooms out. So I had a room over there with him. And I was there for some years. I was there till at least about 2000. Like my boy Leviticus, young man from Mississippi, that my brother-in-law introduced me to, was going through some stuff, not knowing that he was bipolar. But let me get back to this before he came to be with me. And at this time I had the alkaline water. So this was in 2007 at this time. 2007, 2008. But like I said, at this time in Mitch introduced me to the information about the alkaline water. That was in 2004, 2005. He introduced that information to me. I was sharing last week about Kaya, a friend of mine, a friend of the Hebrew community, but she's out in Atlanta, so we used to travel going back and forth to some of the Hebrew Israelite community, or should I say, meetings that they would have. Like they have like a grand meeting where we would go. Me and her would ride together because she needs somebody to drive with her sometimes. Like I said, sometimes we go to Mississippi. Some of the meetings that they had or conferences they would have, they had like in Jackson, Tennessee, just different places. Me and her would travel. We was real cool. Excuse me. And at this time, I was gaining information on DVDs on Maxwell Jordan, um, DVD. Oh man, I had all kind of DVDs. DVDs on, or I had one called Eating, and it was talking about how the food was contaminated. It was just a lot of information I was just coming across. A lot of DVDs, a lot of information I was coming across. You know. Then as I was saying that, all this is going on. Now I'm going to see Boo Boo Black, which is Terrell Williams, Cephas's brother. And he got this song called "Bring That Chick to the Middle of the Floor." Bring that chick to the middle of the floor. Boom, 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 boom. It was nice. And they said it sounded like Hustle and Flow. It's a song on Hustle and Flow that everybody said they heard them. Like, man, it sounded like that's but we never went to listen to Hustle and Flow. I had never went. it was a long time before I ever saw it on television, or because I didn't go to the movie to see it, I saw it on television. So I made a nice routine off that. It was a freaky routine, but I made a nice routine off of it. Um, oh boy. Made a routine off that. And then I was coming back and forth from Brother Obadiah's apartment where I was staying at, and I would I would catch the bus and the train out to Boo Boo Black's place and where he was getting everything together. So one day I'm heading out there, when I think I shared this already, but I'm gonna share it again. I'm heading out there, and the Spirit told me to get up on the train. So I get up and I said, when the Spirit tell you to speak, you ought to speak. So I got up and I said, so I ended up talking about the Valley of Dry Bones, Ezekiel 37. Some people was listening, and then there was a lady asked me to come sit down by her, and me and her, we had a conversation. And that same day, now this is around June, July, July, August, around this time, right? Dang, I forgot to tell y'all all about how I used to work at this place called Bojangles. I used to be the mascot out there, dancing out there on was that Jimmy Carter Boulevard, or no, it wasn't Jimmy Carter, but what was the name of that street? Trails. It was something Trail, Indian Trail, I think it was. That's it, Indian Trail. It used to be a Bojangle, not too far from the freeway. And I used to work there. And I worked for Ashley Furniture as well. When I was still out there in um in Norcross. So I was there for a little bit of time. But yet still, what I'm saying is that and that just kind of hit me. I just came back with that. I was out there dancing out there, and then my man, what's called names? Not Kevin. I can't even think of his name, but he was the manager. Me and him became real cool. He would show me the stats. He said, "Man, we make money when you out there dancing." That's all I had started working, because I started working for Ashley Furniture, so I didn't work in the store no more. So that was just like a little side. I was still working there, but I would just get out there and work for about 2 or 3 hours. And my 2 or 3 hours, I'd be standing out there dancing on the street, on Indian Trail, out there at Bojangles, right? And the manager, dang, I forget his name. Mm, I forget his name. He was a good friend of mine too. Never it's something like this. Start with the N, but I forgot his name. But cool brother. Me and him was real cool too. Like I said, I got to meet a lot of people. That just hit me. So when I would be out there dancing, he said he actually brought me in and said, look at the stats. The child, when you go out there and dance, our stat goes up. And then as soon as you leave from dancing, the stat goes down. He did that I think he showed me that for like about a month or two. He see that when I be out there dancing on the street in my little Bojangle in the chicken suit, dancing out there in the chicken suit, he showed me how that happened. So, like I said, out there, I would go to I would go to Bojangles. I would go to Bojangles in the morning, early in the morning, get me a salad, then go right in the back of them to Ashley Furniture, go to work, and I was, moving furniture. And Ashley Furniture have some good heavy furniture too, you know. So I would work for Ashley Furniture, get off, and then either on my off days or on some days I come back and then I'll be out there dancing outside. So uh, I was just eating salads, and like I was still vegan at that time. I was vegan at this, I was vegan at this time as well. You know, think the only thing I'd probably eat is some fish. I think I was eating some fish at this time. But back that was in my early. That was in 2000. That was in 2005, I believe, as well. That was before I moved to with Obadiah. Yep, that was before I moved with Obadiah. I'm just trying to remember on some things. Like I say, I'm just things is coming back. It's like clicking in my mind. A lot of stuff I used to do and the things that has happened. I'm just putting it out there so it can always be so it can be recorded. So I need it at a later time. I can go back over this and be like, man, I can put this baby together and remember everything that I've been through. So back to now. That was just a little snippet I wanted to snip in and put in there because I ended up working back with Ashley Furniture again. And a lot of things happened. I ended up leaving and I'm coming back because I had to leave that side of town, but I can't end up coming back over there. I think I was traveling or riding at this time, but I don't remember. Uh, now, where was I at? I was talking about, now I'm with Obadiah. I'm staying over at Obadiah Place. Tristan came with the children a few times. She done left and disappeared. Um, Me and Mitch, we hanging. Now comes the time when, like I'm saying, boo boo black. I'm on the train. Back to that. I'm on the train. This is in 2005. And I remember it was like, you know how you hear the thunder, boom, boom, but it wasn't no rain or nothing. You just heard the thunder. And it hit me. It was 10 years ago this year. I went through my spiritual awakening. So it was like I heard that rumble, and that just kind of brought me back to my promise that brought me to the truth. I put the songs right and gave it to the world. Now, I remember just hearing a rumble, and I was at Boo Boo Black Place at the time. I was the only one being aware of this because this was within me. So now comes the time of now I'm on the train. This is still in 2005, and this is around the end of the summer, the mid or end of summer, mid or end of summer of 2005. Because what I remember is that I'm over there, I'm going back to Boo Boo Black House, and I'm doing the routine for him, bring that chick to the middle of the floor, and I go back home supposed to get paid after we get done there with everything, you know. And then I end up getting on the train going that way. And then, like I said, I shared the information on the train. Woman asked me to come down, shared about the Valley of Dry Bones, Ezekiel 37, 1 through 14. Shared that on the train after Spirit told me to get up and speak to the people. The lady asked me to come down and sit with her. That we sat down, we talked, and I just shared with her some information about myself. Then I would do that all the time. I'll get on the train. But that same day that I got up and did that, when I got to Boo Boo Black House, he was in there had with practicing with the songs and the singers and the songs, whatever they were doing. That's why I went out and sat on the patio. Now I'm sitting on the patio. I see this little black and blue butterfly just flying. This is a certain thing that happened. Flying around. And I'm sitting on the couch, right? And this butterfly and it landed on the pillow. It was like a blue pillow. It was like a pillow, a multicolored pillow that's sitting down, right? And I looked at it. So now I took my phone out and I took a picture. And it stayed there. I took 7 shots, took another picture, got closer. The fifth picture was so close, the wings was on both ends of the picture. That's how close it got. Then the sixth picture, I put my hand there, took the picture. The seventh picture, it jumped, it got not jumped, but it got on my hand. I picked it up and I took another picture. That was my seventh picture, and then it flew off. And to me, that seven meant something to me. Like I said, about energy and numbers and stuff. I didn't know about this at this time, but that just meant something to me. There's 7 pictures and the 7 shots with that butterfly, black butterfly. It was just that just meant something to me. So when it flew off, I just thought about it, just like something, it was like a sign. There you go. That me did what I did on the train, and that black and blue butterfly came, that was a sign to me. And this was in the summer, midsummer of 2005. And I remember that. So I would share that situation with a few people. So me and Kaya, we was riding one day, going to a meeting or a conference, and I was sharing with her with that in the vehicle. And she said, Black Butterfly. And then she told me about Denise Williams. I think that was her. Yeah, I think it was her. I know, but I was having a conversation with her with that, or I heard the song "Black Butterfly Sail Across the Water."
That's
Tell
what I
you,
was thinking about the whole time you was talking about that. The butterfly. It made me think about that song, yo. Yeah.
yep. She brought that to my attention, and that made me think Black Butterfly talking about us as a people sailing across the waters. And that was my sign. And I have been doing it ever since from that point on. I get on the train, I talk about something. I talk about the Bible. I talk about us as a people. I talk about the alkaline water. I talk about when I start finding out more information about the no national ID card, because there was a website that talked about the national ID card was coming out, but it was a site that said no national ID. So I get up and I tell people about that. I talk about the mark of the beast, all kind of stuff. I was share. So yeah, bro, you on point. You was right on point. But that was my sign, black butterfly. So when that day from that point on, I would get up and I talk every time, no matter where I go, I'll try to speak about that, right? So it got to the point that now I'm speaking, and now people begin to laugh and point the finger at me and this and that every once in a while. Sometimes people listen, sometimes people wouldn't. Some people just be paying me no attention. Some people would. Some people would talk to me. Every so often is it's different. But one time I just felt bad. I was like, Father, you said, I'm trying to get the information to the people, and then the Spirit came to me and repeated what I said. Spirit said, "You said if I brought you to the truth, you'll put the truth in songs and writing and give it to the world. It's up to the world to accept it or reject it." Right then, I was like, I'm good. As long as I do my job, as long as I'm putting it out there, they can accept it or they can reject it. I'm not going to be at fault because I'm doing my job. And I understand that if I say it, if it hit their ear, it's a seed being planted. Because whether they listening or not, it's just the fact that I heard that somewhere. Wait a minute. I know that I'm planting the seed, but the Father is going to germinate it and grow it. I already know that. So my main thing is you have to say it, because that's the same thing that happened with my children's mother in Germany. When I told her, "What you doing, Karen?" I had to say it. I had to say it. And when I realized that when I said that to her, I broke something. I broke something like right now. If like when I have, like if I mess around, if I do something, I tell my wife. Matter of fact, at this point, I tell my wife before I do anything. At this point, if I mess around with somebody, because I know what I have. That's the difference. I know what I got in this woman. So it's not about jeopardizing. She knows that I can have more than one wife. She knows that. But I'm not gonna bring nothing in here that's gonna jeopardize our house. That's gonna be that's not gonna say a risk. I'd rather bring something. I'd rather bring a diamond in his house than bring a rock. If you understand what I'm saying. If I bring someone in this house, they're gonna definitely be an asset for me and my wife. Now, not even if it's in the house, even if it's someone else I join myself with, they got to be an asset. I ain't gonna have nobody who can come and just be a burden or just want to be someone just to be a body. Can't have that. So the whole point is my wife understands and know that I can have more than
Said
one.
a dead planet, like your woman, that's your Earth. You know what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
But like, other planets, you might have some other planets, but it can't be like you said, no dead planet, no just no
There
meteorite.
you
It
go,
got
bro.
some sort of one of the planets in the universe, but your Earth, that's your Earth. Your woman now, that's your Earth right there.
That's right.
You know what
That's my life. That's my life source at this point. You know.
She reflects all the light that you've been giving her. Yeah, exactly. And produce all the seeds you've been planting in the soil. Like she's that fertile soil. So yeah,
There you go, bro.
like you said, you don't want nothing, just no dead moon, just something that ain't, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Everything and everyone has their purpose, and if you hear, you're gonna have a purpose. It's got to be a purpose behind what you do, or the asset that you will be for this household.
Exactly. All the planets ain't the Earth, but other ones have, like you said, they each planet got its own power and purpose and
There
stuff.
you go, bro.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep. And if everybody think like that, because I don't even want to get off on that because I'll be talking about the women of the day. So I don't even want to get off on that. But you understand, I'm glad you have you understand where I'm at, bro. So just the fact that now I'm getting into what happened like after now when I said that spirit I know now I know that I know in all I know is that I just gotta get out here and say it as long as I'm doing my job I ain't gotta worry about it and I'm still good with the creator because I'm doing my job. Who it's for, they're gonna hear it. Who it's not, they may not get it or they may get it later. So I just made sure I kept doing that all the time I was in Atlanta. Every time I catch the train, I'll be on the train, on the bus, and I do it all the time. So that was my point from that point on in the summer of 2005. Then I was leaving Boo Boo Black House one day and I was catching the bus going back home. I was in not the cab, I was in the Smyrna area. I ended up coming up to this store, and this was in 2005. It was like the summer of 2005. I went into this Shell gas station, and I seen this woman. It was like love at first sight to me. Her name was Desiree, and she was fine to me. She was short, petite. I mean, her body was tight. She was slim. She was petite. She wasn't, she was petite, nice, tight body. Hair, hair looked good, nice thick lips. And I was like, how the first time you see you like, man. And that's how I felt. I was like, boy. So I wasn't ashamed to walk up to her. I said, excuse me, you mind if I talk to you for a minute? Because I wasn't ashamed to talk to a female. I wasn't ashamed to do, but I wasn't forceful. But I would come up, hey, how you doing? And I just let them know, I think you're cute. I'd like to talk to you. I ain't gonna be sitting up trying to play no games. I'm gonna do I just let them know. If they say no, good, fine. You just let. I ain't gotta waste no time. So, and then when I told her she was at the counter, and I told her I said, can I talk to you for a minute or whatever? She said, I'll talk to you outside when I'm about to get some gas. I'll talk to you outside. Wasn't no problem. She came out. She was pumping gas. Me and her, we had a conversation. We switched numbers, and it was ironic. I lost my phone and I think we connected once or twice. And I lost my phone two or three times. And I don't do that. That I didn't even realize that was a sign. But I lost my phone, looked for a call, couldn't get any contact with her, didn't write a number down. So she ended up connecting with me later and we connected. And then I remember the first time we really kind of, I think I went I went to the mall, met her at the mall, seen her, we kissed, and we went back to Boo Boo Black House. And I told her what I was doing choreography. And from that point on, we was connected. And then, but she was doing at this time. Her name was Desiree, and at this time she was doing. She had just got out of doing facial, but now she's doing massage therapy. She's going to school for massage therapy. And you know, like I said, I wouldn't say I was naive on that, but I was more naive. But we was cool. Me and me, she never showed me that she was cheating or anything like that because we was getting to know each other. But she was going to school a lot. She always said she was going to school. She was handling her business at school. I was doing what I was doing, and we would see each other every so often. We wouldn't be like we weren't seeing each other all the time. We'd see each other like maybe almost every other week we were seeing each other. We see each other once or once upon a time, something like that. Now, this is in 2005. Now it's coming to. I remember this point here. Uh, I remember. I remember. Um, Coming near the end of 2005, I remember going out. I used to go with my boy. I was telling you about it with Bojangles, the manager. We would ride to the games they would have in Alabama. They would have games because he went to college in Alabama. So I would ride with them. They used to love me, see me dance. We used to, like I said, I used to meet a lot of people, see a lot of people dance. We used to dance and everything. And I used to dance and everything. So I met a lot of friends by me dancing. When I get out there, dance on the dance floor, get to meet people, and it was like that was my connection with people. Cause when I get on the dance floor and dance, that was my connection, and we'd be cool, and we'd go from there. But I met him at work, but he was shocked when he seen me dance. So we went on out to Alabama, and we had fun out there. And I remember coming back. Desiree ended up coming. She stayed over. I think that was the first time. As a matter of fact, it was October. It was quote unquote. We made it back the night of what they call Devil's Nights on the 30th. I remember that. On that because that was the first time she spent the night. We didn't do nothing, but it's the first time she spent the night over my house. We went out. She came, he dropped me off. She ended up coming over that night, and we went out, got something to eat. We came back. She spent the night. I gave her a nice massage, and she really liked my massage. And she spent the night. We didn't do anything, but there was certain songs that was played that night. You know, sometimes you reminisce on certain songs. There was certain songs played that night where we remember. But and she played them, but it was a certain song where we remember, and it was just from that point on, it was like we was connected. We was connected. We didn't, like I said, we didn't have intercourse, nothing like that. It took some time. It was back now. That was 2005. It was almost the time of her Earth Day before we connected like that. And her Earth Day is like in May. I'm just gonna say that it's like in May. So, but I remember in 2005, at the end of 2005, I ended up Cephas came and got me, and we ended up going to Mississippi. Now, he wanted me to ride with him, but I couldn't get back home because he was hoping coming back or dropping me back off. I ended up getting stranded in Mississippi because I don't know if it was a snowstorm or I think it snowed and we couldn't go back right off. But I remember being in Mississippi for about a week or two. And I remember Desiree sending me some pictures because I was stuck. And and this is when she talked about Mary J. Blige. What's the name of that Mary J. Blige? Can I miss you? Got that boom, 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 boom. I can hear the song, but that Mary J. Blige when that came out, um, and she shared that with me while I was there, and we just kept in contact. Then I made it back, and like I said, we had more contact, but it was more like at first while she was studying, going to school, it was more like long distance while she was there. Then when she kind of got out of school, graduated, whatever, we kind of made a little bit more contact, connect more of a connection, especially after I made it back from Mississippi. When I made it back, we got a little bit more closer. Oh, I got to tell you about this. Oh yeah, this is another spiritual situation that happened. See, a lot of stuff be happening, and I'm talking and things are coming up. Now it's 2006. I remember this. This is around March of 2006. And she would come over every so often. I would want to spend more time with her, but and I didn't realize how deep I was because every time I opened my mouth, it's Desiree, Desiree, Desiree. You know how sometimes you can be around other friends and they can be like, man, you talk about it so much, but you don't realize you're talking about it like that. And there was this other brother named Dex Lee. He was a choreographer. I remember being in Detroit. I think it was in 2005. I was in Detroit, and I was in Detroit at the time, and this is around the summer of 2005 because it was the first time I seen my daughters again. The second time I seen my daughters. The first time I seen my daughters after leaving town, um, after leaving going to Germany was in '98 at my uncle's funeral, or for my uncle's funeral. And I seen him for a quick moment for about 30 minutes, if not an hour at that time, 30 minutes to an hour at that time. The second time I saw him was 2005. And when I came back, I was up in Detroit. At that time, I seen my daughters at that time, just trying to piece things together. 2005, I seen him, took some pictures and stuff with him then. That was before I made it back and before Boo Boo Black and Desiree. That was just before then. Because at this time, I was the manager over man, I think I was telling y'all about me being I was in Norcross and I was working at this place and I was the head, I did the rehab and I was the manager over the come on. I was the manager over the warehouse in the back area because we was doing a lot of cabinets and appliances and stuff like that. And I set up and rehab the whole warehouses twice. I did one for this female who wants to be a man, um, but looked like a female, but her mindset, well, you know what I'm talking about. And then I transferred, and yeah, that was that had to be in 2005. Yeah, because that was before Desiree. Yeah, so that was like, yeah. Now, just things is coming together. So, because I remember that, and I remember going back. I remember seeing Dina again. It was before me and Desiree connected. I remember seeing Dina again, which is my oldest girl's mother. And we was having a conversation. This is when Dina's friend, when I was actually at the job, me and her, I'm in the back, I'm on the phone, and her friend was telling me that Dina was crying for me. He left and all this and that. I said, and then she said, "See, I told you playing games, whatever." That I just remember. I think her name was Dee Dee. Dee Dee was telling me that, and us three was on the phone at the time. We just having a conversation. But that was after came to Detroit, made it back to Atlanta, and I was working for how it's not Howard Mills. It was a I forgot the name of the company, but it was a foreign company. But that's just another point to put into the story. And I think I shared about the woman that came there pregnant, and then she got rid of me because of the last place I worked at, same company, but I transferred from there. And Mitch said, "Man, don't you want to see what's gonna happen to her?" I said, I ain't gotta see what's gonna happen. I know the credit gonna get her." He said, "You don't want to see it?" I said, "I ain't got to see it. I know the creator gonna get her." And she had difficulties, and the baby came. It was different. I would just put it like that. It was bad. I didn't have to see it, but I heard about it. You don't mess with the creator's people, servants. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't mess with the creator's servants because you never know what's gonna hit you. That's why I didn't worry about it. So I'm glad that came up, so I can put that so that I can remember of that. So um, now that was in 2005. Yeah, that was in 2005. Now that was before the Boo Boo Black and before Desiree. Um, and then everything moves into 2006. Now, back to that point. Now in 2006, like I said, we was kind of long distance in the same in Atlanta, but we still keeping long distance. I want to see her and can't see her and this and that and whatever. I wasn't out there messing around. I wasn't seeing a lot of people nothing like that neither, because I'm just focused on whatever I'm doing. Now what ended up happening around March. Around March, okay, yeah, 'cause I'm thinking about the places I was staying. I was staying in different places around the areas. Around March, I remember I was staying with Obadiah, and she started to come over, and I think she was going to spend the night. And I said, okay, so I'm going into now. Oh, I got to tell she was a very heavy smoker. When I say smoke, she smoked bud. When I say bud, I don't mean she smoked blunts like easy. And I'm not talking bad about it like that, but this is what she used to do. She used to smoke blunts like a cigarette. But she could smoke a blunt. I was hit a blunt, I'd be coughing. But another point, energy. You know what I'm saying? Another thing about energy and about the people you're around and things like that. So now I hadn't hit anything in a while, but now she ended up coming over this one time, and we was on the front porch, me and a couple of other people that stayed in there. We all, she had a blunt. I think they was other people who smoked blunts as well there. But we was on the front porch. We wouldn't do it in the house, so I wasn't smoking. But I happened to hit it that time. Yeah, I happened to hit it that time. I don't know. I just hit it maybe once or twice. So now we go in there, we getting ready to lay down, go to bed. Like I said, we hadn't. Now this was before earlier. We still hadn't done anything yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth. Now this is gonna get you. This is another spiritual situation that happened. I'm in the bathroom. I'm brushing my teeth. This is in 2006. I remember this clear as day. I'm brushing my teeth, right? And we got like a big mirror in the bathroom, not no little small, like a wall mirror in the bathroom over the sink. So I'm brushing my teeth. I'm brushing my teeth, and I start hearing these voices. These voices just start getting louder. I'm hearing these voices like a conversation, like a community or a lot of people having a conversation. And this just started getting louder, right? And I'm brushing my teeth, and I'm like, and then one voice said, "Put her out." And another one said, and I heard this other voice like, "No, no, 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 no." And then the other voice said, "See, being rebellious." The first one said, "Put her out." The other one said, "No, no, no." The other one said, "See, being rebellious." And I said, "I'm not being rebellious." And I thought this, because there's two spirits at this point, but I said, "I'm not being rebellious. I love her." You know, that's what I was thought at this time, you know. And then that's when the voices just went away. And after that, she ended up coming to the bathroom with me. She ended up brushing her teeth and she flossed. She went in there, and I didn't put her out that day, that night. I didn't put her out. You know, boy, didn't put her out. So I don't know what was going on. Some spirit knew that I didn't know. I didn't know, you know. But the whole point is sitting back, even think about now the times that my phone got lost. I had the same phone number all the time, but my phone, I lost my phone twice since first meeting her. Didn't understand why at the time, but my mind was just set on who I saw. And not only that, on my way to Atlanta, I prayed for the type of girl I wanted. I was asking, I was talking to the creator. I remember listening to on the phone. It's so good loving somebody and somebody loves you back. It's so good wanting somebody and somebody wants you back. You know. So no, I was like, yeah, and I was talking to the creator when I was helping my cousin Bush move from the Mississippi to the to Atlanta. So while I'm traveling, I remember listening to this, just put this in there, just remember, just so it can be a part of the story when the time comes. I was crying and I was talking to the creator. I want me this, I want my woman, I want her to be. And I actually described her. I described I want her to be petite and nice, beautiful and all this and whatever. And it was like what I spoke on. I ended up getting that, what, you can almost say a year later. Around the time. You know what I'm saying? So not really realizing it because the time going, but you ain't paying attention to stuff going on. But like I say, when you sit back and observe, because just thinking about it now, I'm seeing it was about a year later. And it seemed like longer, but it was about a year later when I ran into her. So, but that was something I wanted. That's the difference. See, the Father, the scriptures to say, the Father give you what you want. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we can want something that's not good for us. And I'm not putting her down in no type of way because is who she is, and she may just been something I wanted that I needed to see that wasn't for me. But sometimes a lot of people go through things and they don't realize that what they want is not for them. Sometimes you got to get what you need. And that's one thing I was growing up that my stepfather Joe, my other father, which is my stepfather Joe, he always said. We sat down at the table. He gave a prayer. He told me, I did. The Lord is my shepherd, and I should not want. He gave up my one of my other siblings. um, we kind of connected with that prayer. But mine always was, the Lord is my shepherd and I should not want. And that followed me throughout my life in here. Always being like, well, do I need this or do I want this?
Nah, you know what, I was saying that too, dude. I learned that the last one of my the last girl I was with, because I kept really wanting to be with this other chick so bad that
Hmm.
like another style like her. Like I was looking for another style like her, but the girl who came into my life, she was actually so down, like more down for me than any other chick like ever, and would do every, and was really solid. Is like really had my best interest and heart and everything like that. But it's like, and it made me realize sometimes what we prefer isn't what we need. You know,
Right,
certain preference for a certain what we looking for, like like a type. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
what a lot of women is going through too. They want a certain type of man, but they don't realize is the and man, it doesn't matter the gender. I just from my perspective, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
with you.
I had to learn it that way, and it made me realize like the women, a lot of women are going through the same thing. They prefer a certain style man, but really the man that's really what you need, you
Is
probably
what you want.
look at him because, like you said, your mind is so set on getting, yo, I want him to be this type and this look. You got a certain look or a certain type you're looking for, but that's really not what is
That's
right.
fact.
That's not what's going to be good for you, and it's not going to be right. But people's minds are so set on getting, that preference. I prefer this, you know what I mean? And like you said, it should be what you really need, not what you want.
There you go.
But like, people feel like they could just, I don't know what it is. Like people just feel like they can, like it's like the saying, what does it say? Don't block your blessings. Sometimes you block your blessing because you choose not to be with a person because you know what I mean? And you
Because you're looking for something other than what it is that you
what you
need.
prefer, you know what I mean? When really that ain't what you prefer, you don't even know what you really need. Like,
There you
because
go.
so
There you
twisted.
go. So can I ask you the girl that you said that was really liked you? Did you stay with her or did you just say you let her go?
Nah, we was together. We was together for a long time. You know what I mean? Like like the longest.
That's
I,
good.
yeah, that I ever been with for a long time. Like you know what I mean? But like yeah, nah, I'm not with her. I don't have her no more, and I wish I had her back. You know what I mean? Actually, I do. I hope that one day that she, will, maybe reach out in some kind of way. But like, yeah, man, this girl had my heart and interest, and it was like the whole time a little bit. I was like, I kind of like wasn't like all the way there for her like she was there for me. I was kind of like there, like just happy that I had somebody that down for me, but it was like I wasn't. I mean, I realize now, like I said, that
It
that's the
was
one I
was
find,
it that
like
you
I
knew
should have married her.
she was
Like
with
I
you
should
but you
have
didn't
married her
appreciate
on
her?
top. I should have just straight up married her, bro. Like this is the woman I should have grown. I feel like I could have, but things it didn't happen. So I don't know. But like they say, if you love something, you let it go, and if it comes back to you,
It's meant for you, right?
meant for you. So like, yeah, man.
Well, I'm glad
Yeah,
I'm
she
glad.
did.
Hey, you see
Back
what
one
comes
time, but
out
then
in
she left.
stories like this?
Yeah, she came back one time and then she left again though. So it's like I messed it up. I did mess it up. Like I messed it up. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's like I let her know that I'm sorry, and I try to become a better man and everything to try to get her back, and just like hoping that like you said, because it says it in the word that like when man finds a
When a man find a wife, he find a good thing and
yeah,
obtain the favor of the Creator.
exactly. So it's like it says what God bring together, let no man
To put asunder, right? That's
exactly.
it.
Sometimes like that's a man could tear it apart, like you know what I mean. But yeah, like but you right though, man. I ain't mean to just cut into your
No,
story.
no, no, no. You good, bro, because it's good. And I'm glad you shared your point, man, because we all need to share information like that because that's something that we go through. And that's just a good point just to even have in here. You know what I'm saying? Because you agreeing with something, we agree on something that other people may need to, if they hear it, may need to know, you know? Like right now, I know what I got. Remember, I was sharing with you earlier. I know what I got with the woman I have now. I'm not going to let nothing come in and mess that up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yep. So that's actually where I'm at with that situation. But like I say, I didn't know, and then Rip. See, you know what? I'm glad you came in, and I'm glad I'm sharing this point of view. I had a conversation with a brother a few days ago, within 3 to 4 days ago, about 2 or 3 days ago. It wasn't yesterday. I don't think it was. I think it was on Friday evening. Yep. I had a conversation with a brother out of Atlanta. We haven't talked in a little while, but we had a 5 hour conversation. I just want to put this snip that in here while we're talking, and I'm glad we had this conversation. We had a 5 hour conversation, and this is someone who's younger than me. He's younger than me, and he used to dance with me as well. But I'm not going to say his name. But we had a 5 hour conversation, and and in the conversation was I'm I mainly was trying to get him to understand this is life. See, life will teach you things life is not structured to be like, okay, it's going to be cookie cutter. It's going to go this and going to go there and this going to happen. No, it's going to be a lot of things going to happen. And then, we was talking about a certain situation. Let's just say we was talking about the Nick Cannon situation and Cam Newton and Neo. And what I was saying is, just to share the information, I'm glad we snipped this in. What I was saying is, and what I was trying to share with him, how we got on the conversation, I was saying that people are in the business of somebody's business they have no understanding and they shouldn't be in. And I said, people are coming knowing Cam Newton and always talking about him being with his women, which he has the means to take care of. He has the means to take care of the women that he's with. People are coming in and trying to shame him because he has women that he have children with because he ain't going to go, quote unquote, going through the system for a marriage. That's the system thing. I said, as long as this man is handling his business, taking care of the children, holding his thing down with the women, he ain't got nothing to worry about. And this stuff that, as far as I'm concerned, everybody else is jealous. Everybody trying to talk to him about discipline, this and that, but he is disciplined if he's taking care. Now, if he's not doing that and he's just making them hoes, this thing right here. Now, if he's not doing that and he's making them hoes, he just messing now, that's a problem. But if he's no different than Nick, if you're taking care of your household, you're taking care of your children, whether if the women is taking care of themselves, if you're taking care of your children, spending time with the children, you're making sure them children is all right, you're doing your job. Ain't nothing. But then this brother, I'm just gonna say this brother, he was cookie cutter. Well, the father needs to be with the children. The father needs to be in the household. The father needs to be. I said, wait a minute, hold on, bro. I said, if a man is out working, cause my wife, they got in on the conversation, her and another sister on the phone. My wife said, I was at the house all day, and I wouldn't see my father 8 hours out of the day. And a lot of times he come, I didn't see him then. He always had to work. That was Joanne, but my wife said about her and her father. And they even said, my wife and the other sister on the phone said, that's the agreement they had. And this is why I said, bro, a lot of people is in the business that they don't even, people are talking stuff that don't even concern them. If this man has an agreement with these women to have children with him for a legacy or whatever, if he can handle that and he's doing his business and he's taking care of everything, these children isn't lacking, that shouldn't even be a problem. But the brother was like, the children need the kids need the father. And then we had to go to the point. I had to break down to the point of the system broke up the homes. He was trying to say, well, they doing the same thing the white man doing. I said, bro, the Caucasians or the system. I like to say the system because that's the one who did it. The system, what the system did was this. The system, number one, they took the men off the job. You got to look at it as the system. The men couldn't get jobs. So now the men can't get jobs, but they're at the house. So now what they're gonna do is now this is where welfare and assistance come in. That so now you got welfare and assistance for the women, but only if the man is not in the house. So they actually broke up the homes. The system actually broke up the homes, and then the women got to the point where now this is the reason why I'm coming with tomorrow night. Isaiah 4:1 coming soon. That's my title for tomorrow night, and I think some of this is gonna be added into that. But just sharing that at this point right now because it may give me a remembrance for tomorrow. The system has separated the home by giving women checks, welfare check, food stamps, for everyone that has a baby or the ones that don't have no man in the home. They've separated the home. These men didn't have money. These men is trying to survive out here being separated from their household. The women is now married to the system. The women married to the system. Now they getting their welfare check, they getting their food stamps, and the system is taking care of them. Then you got it to the point now these young women was even interviewed. I don't need no man. What we need a man for? I can take care of myself. How they getting taken care of? They getting taken care of by Section 8, welfare checks, all the stuff that's going on. I even text some. I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook, and they was talking about Joe. I'm talking about Trump, and I in my conversation I said, assistance means to be mean assist. It doesn't mean get on there and be taken care of. It doesn't mean that. It means to assist until you get better. Our women is even taking, when I say our women, mainly us, but it's us and the Caucasians, everybody really. The system itself of the people have taken on the system to be the women that is, have taken on the system to be their husband now because they don't need no man. They can open their legs and get pregnant and then want to go and get an abortion, but they don't need no man. The Father made women and man sex in order for to create and procreate. So I'm coming with that tomorrow strong. I'm coming with that strong tomorrow. I'm gonna give scripture. I'm coming straight from the bone.
Yeah,
That's gonna be strong.
that's even new either. Like I watch like it's a couple channels I follow on YouTube that's like archive channels. They be showing old documentaries from the 80s and 70s and 50s and 60s.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember I watched a couple of them that was talking about when they first started doing the wealth. Like it was one from like the 60s or something like that, and it's showing how it's talking about how the man couldn't be in the house and
That's what I'm talking
in
about.
order to get the welfare. Like when they first implemented this, like the man's shoes couldn't be at the door. Like it was serious. Like you couldn't
That's
have
it.
the man's shoes at the door. So they started like like this because this is when the social worker would come to the house. I'm talking about
That's what
they
I'm talking
first.
about.
Yeah, it goes
Hey, I
back
hope you're
deep.
on
It's
tomorrow, bro, because this is gonna be the topic tomorrow.
okay. Yeah.
I hope you're on tomorrow because this is what I'm going to bring out. And and I'm gonna try to cut it off now, but by Trump doing what he's doing now, everything has to be cut, straightened out, and put back in order. Cause these women is going crazy now. These women is just going plumb crazy, and I gotta stop it. Let me cut that off right now. Tomorrow is gonna be on, bro. We're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Have your conversation ready and talk about what you just shared. This is gonna be ready for tomorrow.
Yep.
You ready? I hope you be ready, bro, because
Hey,
what you just said
go
is what
ahead
I'm
and watch
talking
a
about.
couple of them, rewatch them just to have some extra good points to bring
There
up.
you go, bro. There you
Especially
go.
when it comes to the origins of it, like you said, because you got to get to the root of how it started, and this is well, nah, we're gonna save it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. And I don't know, what got me there is because I was talking about the brother that I had a conversation with yesterday on the point of this, but that's gonna come out tomorrow too. So I'm gonna say all that for tomorrow. But I was talking about Desiree, which was my ex, and I was talking about her, and that's how I just kind of got into that point. But yeah, so me and her, like I said, when the spirit told me to put her out, I didn't do it. And but it was just in my, how some it lingered in me. Put her out. And that lingered in me for a long time. I should if I'd put her out, I don't know what I'd did. But the point is I didn't put her out. Now it comes this brother named Dex Lee. Me and Dex Lee had a gig coming up, a big gig. You know, what's them brother? Walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. They was coming out with that. They was just starting out with that. And me and Dex Lee, we practiced for on another song, but they was I guess they was the headline because we went on just before them. But we practiced, and I remember we went to a place. We went to a place. Um, and this is around 2000. Yeah, I think this was in 2006. I believe it was around in that time. But we went to a place that we used to practice at, right? So we waiting for the people to come to open up. So I'm outside and I'm sitting under the tree. This was like on a Thursday. I think the thing that happened was Saturday night or Friday night. No, it was Saturday night. Yeah, it was Saturday night because I seen Desiree on Sunday. I tried to break up with her, but she didn't want to break up. So this was like Friday night was the I think it was Thursday or Friday that we was practicing. And I remember sitting under a tree, and I was talking to the creator in my mind about leaving her or putting her out. Right? Oh, I had something before then. I remember before that day. Yeah, thank you, Father. Before that day, I was working at Rooms to Go. This is another place that I'm working at. Rooms to Go, which is another furniture place. This is in 2000. All this in 2006, 7, 2008. Yeah, 2006. I think this was before I get up. This was before I started doing the alkaline water. This was in 2006. I remember right after the spirit told me to put her out. I think the next day I went to work. I was working at Rooms to Go. And I remember the roof was more like a tin roof. I didn't know it was a tin roof because I couldn't see it, but it held that day. It held. And when I was listening to it, the hell sound like bubbling, like you know how not boiling water but boiling oil boiling. That's where when the hell was hitting it, and I was like, I got kind of scared because now it's like connection. Night before the spirit told me to put her out, and I didn't. The next day, um, it's raining, it's hailing, and and to me it sounded like boiling oil bubbling, like you know when it's boiling. I'm like, that's still on my mind. So now we're practicing for the show coming up on Saturday night. So this is either Thursday or Friday. We're waiting for the people to come. Now I'm sitting up under the tree, and it's still on my mind about putting her out. So I said, well, Father, I'm saying in my mind, I'm talking to the Creator in my mind. Father, well, I love her and what have you. I said, but if can you give me a sign? I don't know if I asked for a sign or can you show me if you want me to be with her, or whatever. Soon as I said that, bird dropping hit me, and I think it was a bird with on a period because, or it was something with I don't know if it was bird droppings with seeds in or whatever, but whatever it was, I think it was red in it. But I looked and I got up and all I said, "Oh man," So I just know that that was a sign. But I had a 10-year relationship with this girl, long distance, and it was hard for me to get rid of her. Number one is it was like my like Nathan and Daniel, like David, Nathan and David. Nathan's soul cleaved unto David. That's kind of like how I was with her. But I would try to break off with her. She wouldn't break up. And it seemed like when I try to break off with her, she try to get more closer. I was like, man. So that was that Thursday. That was that Thursday or Friday evening before we did the practice. And then me, Dex Lee, and the group that we was together with, we end up performing on that Saturday night. We ended up performing. I got off. I mean, but now Dex Lee, he done did choreography for Usher and other people. He was pretty known, well known. He did choreography for other people, right? So me and Dex Lee, we was cool. We got we was real cool. So but I got off that night. When I say I got off, Dex was a little jealous, and that always happened. Pete. I don't never do it when I get out there and dance. I dance and I just do what I do. Some people get jealous behind it, but he got a little jealous behind that. And the brothers with the walking out, they wanted me to do something with them, you know. But we end up leaving after that, we end up leaving. And then we was at a house, me and all of us was at a house, and we all had a conversation. And I was giving them understanding about what I was going through at the time. And then they said, well, you better break up with her then. I just kept getting that. And so that night, I tried to drive. I was buzzing because after that, we went to a house. We sat down. We were drinking and everything, what have you. I tried to find her. She had moved into an apartment not too far from where I was because she wasn't in her. No, she moved in. Her and her cousins moved to an apartment. I tried to find it and couldn't find it. I could not find it. And now I was looking, 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 looking. Now that was on Saturday night, and I was crying because I wanted to get to it. I wanted to break up. Sunday come, I end up meeting up and I end up going over there to where she's staying at, And at this time, I had a Volvo. I had a brown Volvo, and I was traveling and went to see her. Me and her, we went for a walk. We went to talk. Remember having like a little vision. I had a vision the night before. It was like the little skirt she had on. It was like the skirt that she had on. I had a vision of it the night before. But the whole thing is that she didn't want to break up. She didn't want to break up. I was clean. It was like it was hard for me to break up with her. It was hard. And like I said, it was 10 years, but it got ended up being a long distance relationship because she ended up moving to Alabama. Long story short, she moved to Washington with her auntie or a cousin, and then came back and moved to Columbus with a cousin, and then she ended up moving um, to Alabama with her family. But we had a long distance relationship, and she never wanted to stay with me. She never wanted to give because I was like, we need to get together. This was my first thing. I was like, we need to get together. We need to make an account. Well, I was thinking like family. I was thinking like getting together. She didn't want to do it. She wanted to have a long distance relationship. That might have been the situation. I don't know. But the whole thing is my time was being wasted and I didn't realize it. So that relationship lasted all the way up until the relationship when me and Joanne got together. She was still trying to be in the picture, but it's been so much between that it's a long. All I can say, she was in and out the picture the whole time. When I say in, we had a long distance relationship, so I would go and visit her in the long distance relationship, stay over there, stay with her for the weekend, sometime maybe a week, and then I go back to Atlanta. A lot of people I wouldn't mess around with nobody. I wasn't seeing nobody. She was now a couple of times, you know, I did have a small relationship with a couple of people. Like I say, a small relationship with a couple of people besides Tanisha. Tanisha, she knew about another couple of people I got with because we had a long distance relationship. I let her know that me and somebody else, I got with somebody else. It was easy for me to tell her that because I broke that barrier before they in Germany. When I told Karen, my boy's mother in Germany, when I told her that I have that I messed around. So now it's easy for me to say, well, it was I mean I like I just want to tell her, but I had to let it be known. So I let her know. The couple of times I did mess around. She don't want to be with me, but yet still she was always there. So she was always the person she was, but I didn't see her. She didn't seem like the type of person that'd be out there because she wasn't that type of person. But she was free minded, free hearted, free. What I mean, she's just free. So I could have been naive on that. Could have been, don't know. But the whole point is, it was something, long 10-year relationship. And I'll just say from 2005, 2005 when we first connected, really started 2006, all the way till, was it 2016? No, 'cause me and Joanne, we got together. We actually got together in 2018, but 2016, I think really I was really kind of pushing away, but she was still in the picture, but I was more like, I made it back to Detroit at this time, but I was still pushing away and, you know, finally broke it. But when I was with Tanisha, that's another one. That's just before coming back here. I'm past the point. So I'm an hour and 30 minutes in right now. But ooh, man, it was a lot just came out of there, just thoughts. A lot of thoughts came out of there, and just at the point where I'm at, that's just getting with Desiree. And that was the vision or the vision or the spiritual situation I had when they told me to put her out. I had a lot of them. But that there, and one thing I like to say is that people that hadn't even met her, my mother, my biological mother, she had never met her. She said, "No, you don't need to be with her." I'm like, "Yeah." And I started wondering, these people is telling me they ain't even met her. They don't even know her. And they telling me they don't know. I got a cousin in Rockford, Illinois. I was going to visit him. And I think I either told him about her or she talked to him one time or what have you. And he told me, you don't need to be with her. I was like, man. And I just started noticing certain people and it was just like, that's another sign. It's like signs is being shown, but it's like if y'all understand or if anybody understand what I'm saying, it's like being told something, but you're just not listening. It's a song that used to come out. Don't let them say, I told you so. They say you love me and did let me go. Or will it be that like love I am blind? That I want it so much till it's all in my mind. That's Smokey Robinson. One thing I know for sure is really, really real. Oh, the way you make me feel. I don't know about. It's Smokey Robinson. I've got that was one of my favorite songs. That's why it came to me like that. But it's a lot of things. It's a lot of songs that tells you that people tell you not to be with somebody, but you like them anyway, and you be with them anyway. I forgot the name of. I forgot the name of that song. I just remember some of the lyrics to it. But that was Smokey Robinson was singing that one. But yeah, that was whew, that is something. And you go through life and you start, and like I said, it was a lot of things I went through, not with her bad, but just with her, and a lot of things we couldn't connect on. We have we used to, and boy, she used to. When I used to have a conversation with her, we would talk all day long. Couldn't take care of anything. This boy, just sitting up here thinking about, boy, it was a whole lot. It was a lot of time wasted. But I used to still take care of my business, but it was a lot of time wasted in between that. Whoo, boy, just looking at that, and that's just the beginning of it. That's just 2006 I'm talking about. And then that was the end of 2005 when we met after Boo Boo Black and then me meeting her and then going to our that was into 2006. And then the situation with performing with Dex Lee, um, and then just moving around, just moving, just going through certain situations. And that was 2006, and then 2007, I ended up meeting Chris, and getting the alkaline water machine. Once I got the alkaline water machine, I remember one time. Now I'm promoting myself. We walking around IKEA. I'm giving out my flyers. She gonna try to tell me, don't don't be putting your flyers. If you with me, don't be putting your flyers. I said, who you think you is? You know, I still have my integrity. I still have my mind. I'm out here trying to hustle and do what I do now. You know. But then she ended up seeing later on, she started to really see the potential in what I was doing and started to hear about it because she really didn't know about it at first. So, but, not putting her down or anything like that because she is who she is. She probably wasn't for me because, and then again, long story short, I was 17 years older than her, you know. But when I saw it, it was just like I liked what I saw and we connected and that's what it was. But end up, I was 17 years older than her. Yeah, yeah. I just gonna say I was 17 years older than her, and
Wait, you 17 years older than who?
Desiree.
Oh, okay.
Desiree, I was 17 years older than her. But when we connected, when we connected, it was just like a connection. She liked me, I liked her, and when we talked, I let her know how old I was, and she told me how old she was. And at the time, she was 22 when I met her. I think I was like 30. I was 30 something.
So that made you 39.
Something like that. Yep. She was 22. I was around 39. Yep.
Now, I mean, you know what it that song, age ain't got a number. I mean, yeah, age is nothing but a number. I mean, as long as she's like, of age or whatever like that. But yeah.
Yeah. She was
Some
20. She
people
was
are
20. I
mature, you know
remember.
what I mean? Some people are, have mature tastes or
And
whatever
she
like that.
was.
Yeah.
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 Yep. She was. I remember her being 22. And like you said, you hit me when you said 39. 'Cause I said I was like, I know I was in 30s, late 30s, but I wasn't 40 just yet. I wasn't 40 yet. So I knew I was in my 30s. And I remember she being 22. But we hadn't got together until after she was 23. If you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, that was something. Yep. But that's why I didn't see nothing wrong with it. She was 22. I was 39, you
Well, what's
know.
the name? I heard, this Elijah Muhammad. He says, I guess you should have a woman half your age time plus 7. So I guess at 39, that would be what, 15 plus half of 9 is 4.5. Basically 20 plus 7, 27. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not exact, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so as long as she's mature enough and y'all mature, it's not just on some.
There you go. Yeah. And that's how it was. That because I seen her being mature. She ain't act like no child. Matter of fact, when I met her, she was a nanny. She was actually taking care of a who was this?
Somebody, yeah, you better check first, bro. Like,
Yeah, you already know. Let me pause this. Matter of fact, let me pause it anyway, because I'm about to go into part two. So hold on, bro. I'm going to part two and let me see what this is anyway. So I'm gonna pause this. Yeah, so everybody in private just let you know that was somebody who shouldn't be in there. So I'm glad I had that on pause. And we'll be right back with part two. We in part one, and this is Life of Mikael, question and answers, part 11, part 13 and 14. I believe this is where we at. 13 and 14. So we'll be right back in a few moments. Zoom. And other than that, I just like to share with everyone that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael as Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This prophesies for you to see that Mikael is really me. So Zoom, we'll be right back. I'm glad you didn't see what was on there. It ain't as bad as it usually be, but it was bad. So other than that, we'll be right back. Peace. All right, greetings, family, friends, and the world. This is Mikael Eric Harris, better known as the Juice, also known as the Alkaline Water Guy. How is everyone doing on this beautiful night after Sunday, which was November 2nd, 2025? This was November 2nd, 2025. We're in the night now at after 9 o'clock. This is part two of Fight Fire with Truth, which is open conversation. And the topic tonight is Life of Mikael, question and answers, part 13. Excuse me, part 13 and 14. That's part 13 and 14. Um, we just this is my life, Mikael, and I'm going over it. So when I have a book or take a or make a book, I can go over and I can place things in there or make a movie or have you because there's a lot of things that's missing that I'm putting in. So I'm kind of going over everything strategically and slowly. And as my brother G1 say, it's just memoirs of what I've done, what I've been through. I went from Detroit when I was born, from there to Germany, to Mississippi, excuse me. Now I'm in Atlanta and I'm sharing um, what has happened since I've gotten to Atlanta. And now I'm into the first relationship I was in when I got there, and what the spirit has shared with me in order to not be with that person. Now, I'm not saying that person was a bad person or anything like that, but the person party wasn't for me. But I was glued to that person and I couldn't leave. And just to share with you, that person I really cared about. It was like I was like I shared earlier, in part one, that just before leaving, odd part one, my soul on was under her like Jonathan's soul was knitted with David. He loved him like a brother. So, but with this young lady, it was like I was like love at first sight for me. So I just shared what happened on certain situations about our connection. Um, when the spirit shared with me to let her go or put her out, and I didn't, and then end up having a long term relationship with her, even though our relationship was long, but it was long distance as well. Didn't really go into it right off, just got into the beginning of it um, in 2006 because I'm trying to strategically go through my steps from um, from at this point because I've been like kind of going back and forth on certain things. But at this point, I'm trying to go through step by step. Now that was in 2006 when all that happened, and I was staying in another apartment over there, not apartment, in these buildings, in the building, apartment building. I was renting out of over off of 85 near Jimmy Carter Boulevard. I was staying off a building right off the freeway, right near a Quick Trip. I remember that at this time. And that was like I said, at this time I had just done I had just done a event performing with this guy named Dex Lee. Then I tried to find her the following day. Not that night I tried to find her, couldn't find her. So next following day, I ended up going over there trying to break up with her. Had like a small vision of a skirt that she was wearing. She was wearing like this little small skirt. And I had a vision of the skirt as well. I seen the vision of the skirt before I seen her the next day and happened to see her in that same skirt. Um, but we was connected. And like I said, I couldn't let her go. Excuse me. We was connected, and I just couldn't let it go for whatever reason. Oh, okay, there we go. Couldn't let her go for whatever reason. So we end up being connected for quite some time. But as I also was sharing, was that every time my biological mother, friends, family would tell me, man, you don't need to be with her. And they had never met her. Excuse me. They had never met her. They never saw her face to face. They never met her. But they would tell me, you don't need to be with her. And I didn't even see at the time. I kind of felt it, but I still couldn't see that those were signs. But just leave her alone. But went through a lot with her through those situations. And she, like I said, long story short, she ended up moving. First, she moved to Washington, D.C. with an auntie or a cousin. And we still was having a long distance relationship. Then she moved to Columbia, Georgia. Then she ended up moving with her family in Alabama. She ended up moving there. And our relationship was just a long distance relationship. You know, she didn't want to connect with me as in having a real relationship, as in working together, living together. She never wanted to do that. And also, just wanted to share with you that she was 22 when I met her, and I was 39, I think 39, 38, 39. I was 17 years older than she was. So, but we connected, and I liked her. And like I said, when I seen it, it was like me falling in love at first sight. But I also prayed for a woman like that on my way to Atlanta as well. So not realizing what I prayed for, I ended up getting what I prayed for, and not knowing that. Well, the spirit was trying to get me away from her, but to me, she wasn't like Karen, so I didn't really understand. Karen was Caucasian, even though she, the spirit guided me from her, but I didn't understand the situation with, and I'm still learning and growing though. I'm still learning and growing. We all still learn and grow, but we should adhere to the spirit. When spirit speaks to you, the spirit speaks to you for a reason and a purpose. Also, you should get a confirmation, but the spirit speaks to you. It's a purpose behind it. And at the time, I really wasn't understanding. Sometimes, no different than Adam and Eve. Adam knew not to eat that fruit, just being honest, but he did. So we all go through certain situations that we have to understand, go through, live through, and have an experience through these things. We just got to be thankful that the creator is still the creator and that he forgives because he may understand our ignorance, you know. So I'm thankful that the creator have me and know my heart compared to me being disobedient. Always asking for forgiveness on that point. And if the forgiveness is forgiven, I'm thankful. But other than that, long distance relationship with that, and I was still with it with her. Then I had other relationships somewhat. Now that was in 2006. Now in 2007, I end up meeting this brother named Chris. And he's talking about the alkaline water machine. I think I shared that last week. He talked. At first, I was telling him about Legal Shield. Try to give him the sale so he can pick up on that. He listened to me, and he told me he made it to diamond in that because he's been doing what they call it MLMs for a long time. I didn't know it, but so he said he made the diamond in that, but he was doing the alkaline water machine. So he said, "Do you know about the alkaline water?" He was Jamaican. This alkaline water does this, it does that, and this and that, and this and that. I actually used it. I stuck a young man got his finger bit by a dog, and I stuck his hand in the strong alkaline water. And when he went to the doctor said, "How long you had this?" And I met him. That's the ironic part about this. I ended up meeting the people that happened with. And he said the dog bit his finger when I ended up meeting him a few years later. He put his hand in the alkaline, in the strong acidic water, and it healed his hand. And the doctor said, how long has you had this dog bite? He said, just yesterday. He said, no, it wasn't yesterday. He said, no, I had the dog bite bit me yesterday. He said, no, this bite is about 3 weeks old. He said that the dog bite is about 3 weeks old. That's just how much it healed. And I need to do that with my finger. And I ain't done it yet. And I thought about it today. I got to do it now that I'm saying this story. I got to do it with my finger that I just had a incident with, and I ain't did nothing to it yet. Look at it. And I still feel the sting in it. I cut it a few months ago, but I ain't gonna get on that. But yeah, so I'm telling this story. I got to jump on. I got to do it. But the young man said that the doctor said that strong acidic water healed his sore 3 weeks in that night. So a lot of people don't understand, and I'm not going to go off into that, but a lot of people don't understand the situations when it comes to that the alkaline water and strong acidic water and what have you. But let's get back to where we are. So he told me about that. He was telling about the alkaline water. Now, this is in 2007 at this time, right? I understood and read up when Mitch brought it to my attention in 2005. Mitch brought it to my attention then. But now it's 2007. I meet this brother named Chris. I started getting the water from him. And then from that point on, I started getting the water from him. Then now me and his brother named Michael, that I knew from Shalom in Mississippi. Um, Now I'm staying with him after leaving my apartment where I was at. Dexley stayed there with me for a moment, and a couple other brothers stayed there with me. I ended up moving from there and going down to this brother named Mike. Now me and him, we stand in his apartment. 'Cause like I said, I've been moving around. I wasn't too stable, but I was just moving around after going through my situation with letting this brother into my home um, when I first moved out to Atlanta. So I think that was just a long whooping I got, but I maintained and I learned in my struggles and my ways moving around. Another whooping would probably been because of with Desiree, the woman I'm telling y'all about, told y'all about, or mentioned to you. So it's a lot of stuff that sometimes we get whooped for. We don't even realize we're getting whooped. Then you can realize you get whooped and you just caught up. But these are lessons that we go through. We go through lessons to learn. So as I was saying that what point I was at, I'm not off I'm off of Desiree. I'm on to getting the alkaline water. Now I got to start getting the water from Chris. Now I'm sharing the information, the water and stuff like that. Now me and Mike, we going back and forth to Mississippi. We taking gallons of water now because now we got the connection with the brother that's got the water. We fill our gallons up, go out there, give, excuse me, give it to family members and things like that. Brother Herman Taylor ended up calling me back by the time I got to Mississippi, which was a well-known Bernard radio personality, and get on radio on the internet, uh, the radio, the internet, and also had the Shalom, which was the place that I used to go to worship at. So with this, um, now by the time we make it back to Atlanta, he called me and said, Juice, Juice, the water is good. I'm breathing better. I'm feeling better. I'm walking better. We're gonna get the machine. We're gonna get the machine. I think I shared that last week. So end up, I told him, okay, once I get my machine, we done came out there several times. I ended up information, DVDs, and all kind of stuff. I ended up getting my machine the day after my Earth Day in 2007. And that was like on a Tuesday. I think my Earth Day was on a Monday at that time. I think it came on Tuesday. I told him, I said, well, I'll be out there this weekend. He ended up getting, I said, okay. He ended up getting out there. We got a machine. And it was like I was swallowing water. You know, how you get a big lump in your throat when you swallow air, that is. A lot of things happened after that, and I shared that part last week. And situation happened 3 months after that, which was the wrong machine because he got a different machine that was cheaper. Cheap. I mean, use the word cheap. Mike, that was cheap. So that by that room, that machine being cheap, the quality was not good. So, but something happened there. Shared that last week. No, now we're moving on past that, but I shared that last week. So now, I got my machine. Now I'm making waves. I'm walking around and I'm sharing the information with people on the streets, on the train. I'm doing pH tests everywhere. Now I'm making known about the alkaline water. I'm sharing it on the train, talking about the alkaline water, still talking about knowledge about other things that's going on in the world that people don't know about. But now I'm talking about that and the alkaline water and many things and just sharing information. And it's a lot of other things I've done as well. But now I'm making my way with the alkaline water, and a lot of people beginning to know and understand. And my name has had became big. I don't know about now today because I've been gone from Atlanta for a while. But my name had gotten big in Atlanta and in the West End and all around in the Atlanta area with me selling the alkaline water and with me doing pH tests and everything else. So I got pretty known in Atlanta for doing the alkaline water, doing the pH test and everything out on the streets, and I actually was selling water with no labels. So people really got to know me and got to understand me and understand me. And like I said, I got made a lot of friends. So now that's 2007. So now I'm still learning other information because now I'm learning more DVDs on just documentaries on knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Documentaries on all kinds of stuff. I had one documentary that I ended up getting from a brother. Oh, I'm glad I'm saying this. I went to this one brother was having like nope, it was Sister Nicole. Nicole, actually, at first, I was invited by my boy Joseph Cox. His name is Joseph Cox, but we call him Hector the Backpacker. There we go. I'm glad thank you, Father. Let me remember this. Hectic the Backpacker, right? He invited me over to this house gathering. And him and this time, him and Nicole, Sharice Nicole, I think she's in Jamaica or in Belize now. But him and Sharice Nicole was together at the time. And they invited me to come over there to do my presentation on the alkaline water. And there was this other brother that was selling DVDs and information there as well. And that's when I come to find out about crystals. Now I begin to understand about crystals. Now read this one. I don't think I have it near me. I don't think I have it written near me. But now I'm understanding about crystals and about and this brother sold me a DVD. He said, "Man, you ought to check this one out." He said, "Messages in Water." I for, I forgot his name. I'm looking at his face, but I forgot his name. Um, he said, "You ought to check this out about Messages in Water." I said, "Really?" He sold me. I got the DVD. I got about. I think I bought about 5 DVDs from him. You know, and so. Messages in Water by Dr. Emoto. And when I got the DVD, I looked at it, I was like amazed. I was like, man, because it showed the difference in the frequency. Now I'm starting to learn about frequencies and things like this now. Now I got my machine. I see what the machine did for me. You know what I'm saying? I think I shared that as well. But the machine, I got shocked by it because I froze the alkaline water the first time. And then I got shocked by it, and then my constipation was gone. I used to kind of get constipated. I haven't got constipated anymore. And a lot of other things happen. So that's just on that. And now I'm starting on the machine. And now I'm sharing information. I'm warning. I'm doing a lot of things. And at the events, now this brother, well, the sister first, Sharice Nicole, we was at Sharice Nicole's house, but her and Hectic was going together at the time. Then they would invite a lot of the community to come by, and we would come by, and we have a good time and fellowship, right? Sharice Nicole and my brother Hectic the back. Now Hectic was a good rapper. He can rap. They used to go down to Apache Cafe and rap, and there's a lot of stuff used to go on in Atlanta. We had like a nice, well knitted community where everybody worked together, and I really like that. I think they still may be. I haven't been to Atlanta in a while, but they still may be working together and doing a lot of different things. For those who are still there, many have left, like myself, and I understand the calling is to go back home or to go where you're going after so long. Just like I was there for so long, when it was time for me to come back to Detroit, it was time for me to come back to Detroit. And it's a lot of things I've come to know today to understand why I'm back home and why people are being called home. Sharice made a move. A lot of people made moves at around the same time in 2014. A lot of people started making moves going home. Between 2014 and 16, I know people was making moves, going different places and things like that. So just wanted to share that at that time. So what was I at? I was talking about this was 2007. I was invited over there to Sharice Nicole house. The brother sold me one of the DVDs he sold me was Messages in Water. Another one was Zeitgeist. That's another one the brother sold me. Now, this is my first time seeing this. Zeitgeist. Both of them blew, they opened me up. Really understood the world trade centers. What happened in Zeitgeist? It breaks it down and show you. First it goes into you about religion and talks to you about all these different religions and all these and the comparisons and things like that in Zeitgeist. If y'all ever get time, you can pull it up on. Should be able to pull it up on Google or YouTube or some site and look up the documentary called Zeitgeist. That's beautiful. It's got some information you'll be shocked to find and see, right? So this was another point of view of what I've come to understand before I came to Mississippi. I mean, before I came to Atlanta. Glad to say that because just before I left Mississippi, now I'm seeing Doctor. What's his name? Doctor. I forgot his name. He was a guy he goes to Egypt all the time, and he starts sharing information about. And
Dr.
this is, huh?
Dr. Ben.
Not Dr. Ben. This is a tall, light skinned guy. He was
Oh,
kind of light skinned, had like a little beard. It wasn't Ben. I know you're talking about Dr. Ben. But this is another brother, Uza Quasi. Dr. Quasi.
Dr. Crazy.
Quasi, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was down. Now I started getting his not DVDs, but his VHS tapes, right? This now I had to go back on this one because this brought me back. Now, just
I
before
wanted
I
to ask you because you brought up Zeitgeist. It made me think about that. I remember back in them days, because what got me spawned into a lot of that type of stuff was in one way was Alex Jones with the
yeah, Alex Jones was another, but that was later on for me.
where was you at in 2001? Was you in 9/11 when 9/11 hit? Was you in Germany still?
No, no, no. I was in Mississippi then.
Okay.
Yep, I was in Mississippi. I was still learning and growing and stuff like that. And at the time of the trade centers, I was just looking and I was still, everybody was amazed at that time.
But yeah, no, I don't want to throw you off. Go back to what you were saying though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, with
Asha Kwesi, yeah.
yeah, I should quit. Just before I left Mississippi. Now this is when I done left the house of Israel. I done went to Shalom. Now I done left Shalom. Now I'm dealing with these brothers in I think it's Vicksburg, Mississippi now, or close to Vicksburg. It wasn't Yazoo, but I think because I couldn't think of the name last week, and I think we was going towards Vicksburg. I think it was Bolton. We was in Bolton County, or either Vicksburg, but I forgot exactly where. But I think it was Vicksburg. And this brother named what's his name? Aliyahu. It was Aliyahu, I believe his name was. But he was the one that was trying to connect me with the KOY in Atlanta and said they're gonna be cool and this and that, and it really wasn't what it was what he said it was. Or they didn't treat me the way they treated him. I put it like that. But while I was there, and it wasn't him, it was somewhere in the mix. I ended up getting these VHS tapes about Ashwa Crazy. And Ashwa Crazy started talking about Egypt, started talking about how now this is when a little more information come my way for me to see things, for me to examine things for what it is. Now I'm examining them for what I know according to the scriptures, according to what I went through my spiritual awakening, and according to history on the Egyptian situation. Now I'm putting things together. Now this is me. I don't just go with okay, everything he's saying is true, everything this person is saying is true, but I do know what happened spiritually is true and the connections to that, to the puzzles in that. So now I'm putting everything else together. So Ezra Crazy was actually sharing, and I'm glad we're here. Ezra Crazy, he was sharing about how they how they stole information. The Romans, that's it. How the Romans stole information. How they got the story of Horace. How the story of Mary Magdalene and Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Joseph, and Jesus, and said that came from Horus, Haru, and Isis. That came from Horus, Haru, and Isis, which was before the Roman Empire, and they stole that story. And I'm looking now. I'm looking at the stories. I'm seeing this, and I'm putting it together. I say, okay, now I understand more the reason uh, um, why Elisha was saying the hippie on the stick. Now I'm putting two and two together. Marcion coming up with the four gospels. See, I can see the information I get, I can put together because I did the research, I done found it, I done put it together, and what was told to me, and I also researched it myself to find it. I seen that the Council of Nicaea came together in 325 AD, long after Egypt. The God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost was made up in the Council of Nicaea. All that stuff was made up. They got it. They got their information from other cultures because they don't have no culture really. Talking about the Caucasians, talking about the ones that came out of Caucasus Mountain and the ones who were mainly who was in charge today by the way they did it. So I'm putting the two and two together with the knowledge I've come to understand and come to know by my research and what was shared, not only shared with me, but my own research by what I've been shared and by the information of history that they stole and made. That's really why I understand that the name Jesus is not real. That's why I understand about all the other stuff that I can talk about. That's why I can stand on what I know. Because when Ashra Crazy would come, he would share information and he would show that they would climb up and they go up in these certain caves up in, it was just so much information I come to find out. You know, with the DVDs, information and everything he get, he'd share and what he was talking about, plus what I found out according to history when it comes to the Roman Empire and the things they stole and the things that they've taken and they plagiarized, they changed the name. All these things I started to say, okay, I see where the lies at. I can understand where they got it from. I understand how they manipulated the story. Now I see. This is where my cutting, not my cutting paper, but my sewing of the information is coming. Okay, I see where this coming from. I ain't cutting and pasting like, okay, this go, I'm seeing where, okay, I see where you got this from. I see where this came from. Now I'm putting everything together. I see and understand now. That's why I can stand on the things I talk about. Now, some of the things I've had have gotten lost in my travels because things have gotten lost. Things have gotten some of my a lot of my stuff was in the brothers not even in base, it was under the house, and it looked like it was meant to happen because I had my stuff in storage for a long time. I got stuff storage now, but I had my stuff in storage for a long time. I made a lot of information, and I happened to take it out of storage, and I was making moves, and I ended up putting this brother's basement up under the house, and then within the next 2 or 3 days, if not the next night, it flooded out. When I say flooded out, it rained so hard, everything got messed up. All my stuff, all my knowledge, all my paperwork, all the stuff I had got messed up. It was like it was meant to happen. The creator did it. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, if y'all, I can tell you who house it was, and they can tell you that it's true. He called himself the voodoo. We call him the voodoo priest on YouTube. He called himself the voodoo priest because that's where I went. Got a misa. Like I said, I think I shared that with Zen last week when I was doing. But I just went this week so I can start taking you slow and I can go step by step through the years in Atlanta. So I'm glad I just jumped on that point because that just brought me back. That brought me wherever I was at a few minutes ago, but that brought me back to start understanding. That's what I think about messages in water because this is where more understanding just started coming. Now I found this out before I left Mississippi, about Horus, Heru, and Isis. No, like I never heard that story before. Now this getting more ammunition for this immaculate conception, because that's where they got the story from. Excuse me. The immaculate conception came from out of Egypt, but the people don't know that because their mind is stuck on what the Romans gave them. This is where you got to search all knowledge to understand what's what and what was put there. If you search all knowledge, you understand what was given to the children of Israel compared to what the world has been doing and what was prophesied for the Romans to do and confound or switch everything up compared to what was already laid down, the real foundation. The Creator laid the real foundation down, but you have to know this foundation to understand everything else. And a lot of people don't do it. Thank you, Father, for allowing me to do that and let me see. And you brought me through it. That's why I understand what I know. I understand what I know in the scriptures. I understand what I know when it comes to other information. So glad I brought that up. Thank you, Father, for letting me bring that out. Because all that needs to be here for me to bring out at a later time. And I'm glad it's being recorded. So now um I went back. Oh yeah. So messages in water. I'm starting when I make my water, I'm getting stones and crystals I'm putting around my machine. That was in 2007. So now, end up 2009. Because 2008, I was actually coming to Detroit. I seen my children again, and I was coming to visit with my brother, with my brother Matthew. I was staying with him, and then this is when I had DVDs as well, learning from Jordan Maxwell. Also, like you said, what's the name you said? Alex, Alex. I forgot his name. Huh?
Jones?
Yeah, Alex Jones, the guy who was doing. It was another guy also. It was a lot of people. Like I said, I'm picking up. I'm absorbing information. I'm just absorbing. I'm gathering DVDs. I'm gathering
Talking about
information.
Ike,
Huh?
David Ike.
David Icke. There you go. Yeah, there you go. David Icke, Alex Jones, all kind of people. I'm just gathering information. I'm getting all, and you know what? I got DVDs right now. I got a lot of those DVDs right now. A lot of them I got right now. A lot of them I got right now. I have right now because I put my stuff up. But I was making DVD, like I said, I was selling them. I was making them and I was selling them. And it wasn't not the stuff that they get that everybody's making DVDs and making of movies. I got documentation. I got documents. I got not document, which come documentaries. I'm getting like I said, Zeitgeist was one. Messages in Water was another. Then I got information on the alkaline water and all kind of information. And I still got them today. Like I said, I still got them today. Yeah, so I still got a lot of DVDs today. A lot of them. Back when Obama was coming in, and I got what's one called not ecclesiastic, is esoteric, esoteric something. It's a lot of information I got, a lot of DVDs I got. A lot of them. I still got today with the knowledge on them. We passed that, but I still got them. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that I got a lot of information that I was sharing, and I wasn't just getting them self. I was looking at them. I was absorbing. Like I said, I was absorbing
Yeah,
knowledge.
for the YouTube era, bro. Like you said, if you wanted to be knowledgeable, you had to collect all of these different papers and documents and DVDs and just
That's what I was
you had to
doing.
collect all this stuff because there was no, you know what I mean? This
There wasn't
stuff
no
was
YouTube like it is today.
like not how you could just go on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and try to like is people already trying to like bring the knowledge and all of that. Like you
Right.
had to be tapped in with certain people, certain circles. certain locations. You
Exactly.
got to go to certain type of bookstores. Remember, you ever know about the Shrine of the Black Madonna?
Oh yeah, I would hang out with him in Atlanta. I
Uh,
would go down to the Shrine of the Black Man down in Atlanta, right there on Ralph David Abernathy.
okay, well, you know the one in Detroit. I'm talking about the one on Livernois over there, the bookstore, the Shrine of the
No, I
Madonna
don't
book.
know the one in Detroit.
Yeah, it's the Shrine of the Black Madonna bookstore. Yeah, they
Yeah,
used to
I
have
think
like
they got them all over, but the one I know in Atlanta is right there on Ralph David Abernathy, right down the street from the print shop.
they would
I
have
don't
all
know.
the books like Metal Netta and just all of the conscious books, all of the
Yeah,
stuff that you can't find at the Beat Art bookstore or at Board.
exactly. I had all kind of books. Like I got stuff in stores right now. I got books in stores right now in Atlanta. I got all kind of stuff. Like I said, I was absorbing knowledge. That's the reason why some of the stuff I can talk on, I know what I'm talking about. But it connects with the spiritual awakening that I went with. When I went through my spiritual awakening in Europe, and I told Craig, bring me to the truth, from what I went with that, and from going to Mississippi, learning the Bible, and then everything now, the connection with everything that I need, what I know that's true in the Bible and what I know that's false in the Bible. But what's false is still true because the Creator said it was going to happen. So by the Creator saying it, it's true, but it's false for us because this is not what we're supposed to be going by. We're supposed to be going by what He said that He wants us to do. That's why I understand the Bible for the way I understand it. So I'm thankful to understand the Creator's word and not the word of man. That's what I'm mainly trying to say. The word of man has his words in there, which is Jesus and a lot of other stuff. That's why people is praying to a man now and not even recognizing the Creator said, there's no other God besides me. Mainly universal consciousness. Matter of fact, it was somebody said that today. I heard that on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere today. Somebody that was RS1, KRS1. He said it. I've been saying that. Universal consciousness. This air is consciousness. That's universal consciousness. The fact that we're breathing and we're thinking whatever the Creator have us to think. Now people don't get it. This right here holds memory. Water holds memory. The regular person don't want to know, don't understand that. That's just water. This water turns into vapor, to evaporation.
Yeah,
That water
it's a lot of that we don't know that we think we know. It's a lot, because a lot of people believe, say that because it's not proven through science or certain
exactly.
proven that it's not. But it's like a lot of things we didn't know that later on got proven, or we thought we understood and didn't understand, and then we found out, it's like the more you know, the more you don't know. Like, how's the saying go? It's like a wise man knows that he doesn't know nothing. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So it's like,
Yep.
yeah,
I
everybody.
my saying, I
Up.
say the more you know, the more you grow. That's to me. The reason I say that because, like I said, this water hold memory. This water evaporates into, some say, evaporate into mist. You might as well say evaporate into
Goes
air.
from liquid to solid to gas. Like when it's ice, it's solid. It goes liquid when it's water, and then it, like you said, it could go back to vapor, just molecule.
But think about it, bro. This is what I mean. When it turns back into vapor, it's turned into air. This that holds memory, we're breathing it because it's doing what? It's going back into the atmosphere. And what does it does? Come back down as rain. See, all this is universal consciousness. People don't get it. And I ain't saying everybody don't get it. I'm just saying a lot of people don't understand because people with their mind on a low vibration, but this just water. And I tell them, I say, you breathing water. They don't even realize. Like you just said, ice is the solid.
Even
Ice is solid.
they can't even find out where the seat of consciousness is, like in your mind. Like they understand the brain and everything like that, but the mind itself, like they can't even figure out where that actually is in the brain. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, consciousness, like you said, it's just is. It's deep, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just on the simple, I look at the water is memory because, like I said, when you do, I'm back. I'm still on where we started at before I went to back to the knowledge. It all came out in the knowledge. What I was saying was like when I got into the crystals, the stones, crystals, music. You know what I'm saying? All that is vibration. That's all this is. Water ain't nothing but vibration and it's memory. And by water being memory, it turns to ice and it turns to vapor. It goes back up and it's all still memory. We're breathing memory, which is universal consciousness. It's going back into the atmosphere. What does it do? It rains back down. It's nothing but, how I say, it's the cycle and circle of life. That's all water is. We're breathing water. We don't call it water, we call it air. But we're breathing the same thing that this is, and this ain't nothing but what we call, we just got through saying it, is not universal consciousness, which it is, but it's memory. It's memory. That's why we all gonna have the same thought, or somebody gonna implement it. Somebody gonna implement the thought. Man, I was just thinking about that, but that person did it before I did. The thought is out here. That's why I say universal consciousness. When a lot of people say sky God or ain't no God, they don't even realize this universal consciousness is the creator, creation. Because all of it is made from land, air, or water. Law. Law. That's it. And people don't get it. And it's really simpler than people think. So what I'm looking at is that situation here with this. So when I got that, I started learning about stones, crystals, organized energy conductor, but all at the same time, it just started coming. So I just started learning. All now, this here is other information I'm beginning to learn outside of where I knew that crystals was in the Bible. I knew stones and stuff was in the Bible, but I didn't know what they was used for. I even know that they even made certain type of fragrances, like perfume or cologne. It's a certain type of cologne. I remember that it was made from oils. It's in the scriptures. So they even use candles for some. See, everything is used for something for a purpose. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about frankincense and myrrh?
Frankincense and myrrh, and many other. You know, it's a lot of things that's used for a purpose that a lot of people don't know about. But a lot, and then you get to the point where I don't want to get on that point, but they talk about certain things, witchcraft and all this other stuff, and I'm not talking about that. My main thing is that the Creator has everything is here for a purpose. It depends on how you use it. Do you use it for good? Do you use it for evil? Or do you use it for the purpose that it's supposed to be here for? So everything is about vibration. So like I said, I started gaining in knowledge. I started absorbing knowledge. I started just seeing things and understanding things and really seeing it for what it is. So now I have an understanding about a lot of stuff, whether people accept it from me or not. I'm glad I have to understand because that's what I asked the Creator for. If you bring me to the truth, I'll put the truth in songs and writing and give it to the world. It's up to the world to accept it or reject it. A lot of people look at me because they don't understand me. If they don't understand me, and I can understand that. But if they ain't trying to understand me, hey, that's on them. So my main thing is to keep growing, keep knowing, and keep understanding and sharing information. So that's what ended up happening with me on that point. And I started learning the stones and crystals and stuff like that. So now when I make my water, I always put stones, crystals, organite. I put that around my machine every time I make water. And I realize the structure in my water is not the structure that just the machine makes. I've come to understand that. So
Yo,
my
you
structure
know,
is totally
big,
different than what people is getting from the machine that they get from the regular alkaline water machine. Was you about to say something, bro?
I said, you ever see those geos, the amethyst,
Yeah,
purple?
yeah. I got my bro. Yeah, I got amethyst. I got a few different. That's why I was looking around. I thought I had some around me, but I don't. Some of my stones, I'm just gonna pull some up, but I don't have my box around me with my stones in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all always was into that. And then remember, I don't know if you was like back in the day, like in middle school, we used to collect the different granite, all the different
there you go.
yeah, Yeah, so I had like you said, a rock collection, a crystal, all of the different type of things, and we would try to find them naturally just in the environment
That's
without
right.
buying them. Yeah,
That's on point, bro. And we actually did that in what year was that? That we did that, and I was going through another spiritual situation when I was in Atlanta, and I was just that was in 2012. Yep, 2012. I was going through something. But I hadn't got to that point yet. Yeah, bro. So it's just like I said, I was absorbing, and I was absorbing, and these DVDs I was getting. Now I'm not only absorbing that. Now I'm absorbing knowledge about the stuff that's going on with the world today, with the system, and what the system is doing. The stuff about 9/11 and all the other stuff that's going on. And it's come to find out about the foods and stuff like that. Because it wasn't until 2008. Now I'm stopped on the fish because I end up getting this DVD about eating and now how they're taking the fish and doing because that fish was the last. I didn't think I was gonna get off fish, but now I start seeing how they was messing around with the fish. I said, well, okay, I'm done with the fish. Then in 2012, I stopped on the dairy from animals. So I just chopped off everything when it came to that as I was going. But just a lot of knowledge, a lot of things happening between time. Me and Desiree still here and there. Ended up getting this girl named Alexis, and we went to a Misa. She went to the second one with us. Misa is when his brother, like I told you, voodoo priest. They used to have like it was like a sixth sense and a seance all in one, but it wasn't during the night. It was like from like 5 or 6 in the evening up until before midnight. Because midnight they said that the evil spirits and stuff come out, and I didn't understand it at the time. I was just going with a friend, and we went there, and it was things told about me. But it was like everything was told about everybody in the moon, but everything came around me was always good. It wasn't bad about it too much of anything. Just tell people to do, well, you need to do this or you need to get this or what have you. But everything that was told to me, it was always a good sign with me. And I was thankful for that. I'm thankful. I didn't really know what was going on, but I only went, I think went twice. Well, I knew I was read twice out of everybody in the room. And the sister, which was the other sister, one of the other sisters, me and her ended up connecting up. We ended up connecting. Still with Desiree, but this other sister named Alexis, we ended up connecting. And I took her there, and I had a rose court pendant that his brother, when I used to have my shop, this brother Daryl, Denise and Daryl, I call him Double D. Denise and Daryl, they was married. Matter of fact, Daryl, he used to play the guitar, and he actually was on. They caught him on him and what's his name? Um, Michael. He's an actor. He's an actor on television. He actually did. He was the lawyer on A Time to Kill. He was the white lawyer. I forgot his name. Michael. What's his name? Michael. But he was the lawyer on A Time to Kill with Jackson. What's his name? Which call him Jackson? This thing right here is messing up. Yeah, so he was the lawyer on Time to Kill,
you
and
Samuel
what happened
Jackson.
was, huh?
Talking about Samuel Jackson.
Which call Jackson? The one that said the one who
Talking
wrote.
about Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson. Yeah, I kill him and I kill him again. Whatever he said. But the Caucasian, the one that played his lawyer. Brother Daryl, he played music and he went out there to do some music with him. And they caught him on what's the name of that little thing they be showing all the stars at and this and that. And they little short they show a lot of short clips. They be playing on TV and stuff right now. Dang, I can't even think of the name of it.
What, TMZ or some stuff like
Yeah,
that?
there you go. That's it. TMZ. Yep, TMZ. They caught Daryl and him, and Daryl. I think Daryl came and I think Daryl gave him a hug, or he gave Daryl a hug. They said, "Well, who is this guy? Who is getting?" Because Denise showed me that when I went out. I think one of the last times I went out to Atlanta, she showed me that. No, Daryl had passed already, but just saying that Daryl made. He was good at making. He could make he can wire, he can make, and I wish I'd have learned it from him. Now I wish I'd have learned it from him, but I was doing my thing, learning and selling my stuff, and I wish I could have sat down and learned how, cause he did some beautiful wiring, wire up crystals and stuff like that. If I did that, I could sell them for money.
There's a lot of people I see on Instagram that do the copper wire copper, like the
Uh-huh.
brother who make links. He be making like these style links out of copper. Then he put the pieces with the onyx or the crystal.
Right. But
Yeah, man.
the way this brother Daryl did it, it's like going to a jewelry shop. The way he man, the way that he did it was man, he would do them so beautiful. I mean, now I don't know the person that you're talking about how they may do it, but the way Daryl did it, he made it look so professional. And when I say professional, it's like you going into the actual diamond shop to get you a diamond for your wife. He actually did a couple for me for a couple times. No, me and him, we was real cool. But he gave me a pendant, right? And there was a pendant with it was a necklace actually, and the pendant was on it, and there was a rose quartz, and the way he did it, it was an oval, and he hooked it up. And when we was at the Misa with the girl I was telling named Alexis, they said the woman said tell me take my pendant and give it to her. I said I'll let her borrow it because we wasn't talking at the time. That was our first time coming, and after that night we kind of got together. But I ended up getting. I said I let her borrow it, but end up it was supposed to be for her because rose quartz is actually for love and it's more like calm. It's more like if you like hype and stuff, it calms you down. It more like gives you more like a loving feel. So it was from me. I supposed to gave it to her. So me and her we kind of hooked up after that night as well. So we we helped each other out. I put it like that. Matter of fact, I was staying me, Zen, and this brother named Tate, we had our own place at the time. And this was in 2010 at this time. It was 2000. So this was after we was doing our dance. I mean, after I had my there was yeah, I'm up ahead of myself right now. But this just came about. I just thought about the pendant that he made that I had and I had to give to her after a misa that we did. But yeah, that jumped up a couple of years right there. But man, boy, it's a lot of stuff coming out right now. A lot of stuff just coming out. That was in 2010 with that, but that's when Alexis came in. Um, but at the time, this 2006, me, like I said, me and Desiree were still together. We off and on, long distance relationship. We still doing, but I'm still going through my process. Learned, like I said, I'm gathering DVDs, making sales. I'm going to the shop, to the little four corners of the earth marketplace with the shop that I had my kiosk on my area in, four corners of the earth marketplace. Met a lot of people would come from New York, people all around the country. When they come down a little 5 Point, they'll come to my spot. They come to my spot to get alkaline water or DVDs or I got to know a lot of people around the country in my little area in little 5 Points. I got to know a lot of people. Um, what's their name? The Zulu from Zulu tribe from Africa Ben Dada, Africa Ben Bada. Him and my boy Quick. He a dancer. He was with them. Um, um, I'm up here I'm looking at all the faces that used to come down that way. A couple of people that was on a couple of documentaries came through there used to see me. I met a lot of people. I met and knew a lot of people that used to come through there, and I used to be out and about. Mm. When all that just came, that came like a flood right then with all that information with the stones, crystals, and all this and that, and then the knowledge and all that stuff started coming. I was just learning a lot. I was beginning to learn a lot. And like I said, in 2008, I came back to Detroit to visit. Brought the alkaline water machine then. My brother Matt, that's when me and Joanne, well, Matt brought me to his baby's mother's house, which he's one he married, which was when me and Joanne kind of connected, but she wanted to she was getting water from me at that time for a quick minute. I had to go back to Atlanta Um, but I came here to visit family and everything at that time in 2008. Um, then we came back in 2009. Now I'm with the Marcus Garvey movement with UNI UNICINU, the Marcus Garvey movement, and I was with my brother Ross Marvin at the time. We ended up coming back, staying with my brother Matt, and I ended up meeting Dr. Sabi. This was in 2000. That was in 2009, and also in 2009 is when I first started at Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace doing the alkaline water there first. That was in 2009 when I made it there. Then in 2009, and then in November 2009, I started my in November 2009 is when I started the sovereign classes. I had this good brother named Calvin Wakil Bey. He oh that's what was in my mind. What's the main brother that go around the country sharing information? Excuse me, sharing information about the Moors. He always talk about the Moors. Um, Tariq 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 Bey or something like that. Taj Tariq Bey or something like that. He ended up coming to my shop. The other brother who's light skinned, he came there several times to my shop. We had a conversation. Mm. But when Calvin Wakil Bey, he ended up coming, and I told him, I said I got a spot where we can go in and start some classes there because I've been looking for somebody to teach because I didn't know the information at the time. All I knew was I was getting information, I was absorbing information, but I couldn't some of the stuff I couldn't get. So Calvin, when my brother On introduced Calvin to me. And he said, "Yeah, man, we're gonna do." He was thinking about doing it in the back at the spot where we was at Four Corners. He said, "No, it's too small." I said, "I got a spot where we can go." Took him over there to where we was at that we ended up calling the Ice Box because we started in November. And well, it was around August, June, it was June, July, or August when he came. And I said, okay, what we're gonna do is, because I like to give my space some time. I said, what we're gonna do in beginning of November, we're gonna start our classes. But first we gotta start promoting it, letting people know what's gonna happen, start letting people know. So we're gonna do it every Monday in November of 2009. And I had already started my dance classes in 2009, and I did my dance classes, and I got my spot at Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace. My dance classes was at the Little Five Points Community Center every Friday, and my Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace I was doing my alkaline water at. So I had dance classes every Friday for anybody who wanted to come through, and I would teach dance and what have you. Um, and a few people came, and I had all this started in April, April or May of 2009, of my dance classes and also my alkaline water at Little Five Points Community Center and that Four Corners on the Earth, Little Five, which is in Little Five Points, which is right down the street from each other. So now, a lot of people coming to the place where I'm at. Then knowledge, as I'm saying, I'm still absorbing knowledge. I'm getting knowledge. I even got a television. I'm at my spot. I'm playing DVDs and stuff like that. And people will come and order DVDs or buy DVDs or what have you. Now I run into a few people come to the shop that knows about the sovereign information, knows about, they would say, everybody at the time, everybody, when you say sovereign, you think more. You think those two go together. But then you come to, then I end up understanding sovereign only means free. More, when you hear sovereign, you only associated with Moors. But no, Moor is a people. I know that. I understand that. So by Moor being a people, no, Moore is black. No, Moore is not black. Moore represents black, or what they call black, because that's what. If everybody around here is Caucasian, and you're the only dark skinned person that calls yourself a Moor, And this is what's wrong with the world today with a lot of these people that think they know that what they don't understand. If you're the only melanated person and you call yourself a Moor, all these people say, well, Moor means black. No, Moor means that this is the type of person that it's talking about. It's talking about a Moorish person who is the color melanated. No different than the Israel. Now, if that was an Israelite among around all them melanated people, they'd be like, Israel. Israel is black, and that's the problem with people. They don't have time to get an understanding. That's the reason why when I share information, I break it down the way it is. That's why I said, "Who are the Moors?" I actually broke down who are the Moors. The Moors are the Moabites, which is Moab, which is children of Lot. That's who the Moors are. Everybody's a Moor. If you're black, you're a Moor. People know. People's knowledge is limited. That's the problem. Their knowledge and understanding is limited, and they don't want to go no further than what they've been taught. That's what's wrong with the world today. When you come to learn more, you're supposed to understand more. People only go as far as they go, and they want to stay stuck. You can stay stuck. I understand and overstand, however you want to say it. More is a people which is melanated. Israel is a people which is melanated. Egyptians are a people which is melanated that they say is Caucasian now. See what I'm saying? All nations is mostly, most of the nations are melanated unless they got the seed of Esau or unless they got the seed of the ones in power, which is in the system now. That's the difference. But the people don't get it. I hope a lot of them hear what I'm saying today. So, tonight. So, boy, I done kind of lit up tonight. A lot of time I be sitting back just trying to go over it, but I'm trying to go things step by step. Got kind of lit tonight. So, think I'm gonna stop here. I think I'm gonna hold off right here at 2009. Because next week I can go more into it. Because this is where we end up having our sovereign classes. Yeah, I think because I'm gonna go and start at 2009 next week. That's where I started my dance classes. This is where I started my alkaline, which I say I started Four Corners of the Earth Marketplace with Southern Alkaline Water and all the DVDs and stuff like that. But it might be some other stuff missing with 2008 stuff. I can't remember right now. But I was gaining a lot of knowledge. I can say that much. So other than that, is there anything you want to say, G1, before we pull out? I'm starting 2009 next week. GG, G1. Mhm. Well, if not, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to pull it on out. Pull out. Um, so I hope everybody got a good earful of some of my life and some things I went through from time past, and trying to bring some stuff from the back of my mind, bring it out so I can remember for time to come. Other than that, I'd like to share with you that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be, waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who living in the new, this is for you. I'm the same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwells, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. And we're going to do the benediction to get ready to pull ourselves on up and out. Benedictions in Numbers chapter 6. Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27. Look at it like this. Make sure we can see. And the benediction goes. This is Numbers chapter 6, verse 22 through 27. This is the priestly's benedictions. And this is the prayer that is put upon Israel in the states. The priestly benediction. And Yah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, Yah bless thee and keep thee. Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put Yah's law upon the children of Israel, and I and Yah will bless them. So his name is his law that we shall put upon the children of Israel, and Yah will bless them. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shekevo Vakum Tov V'Olam Va'ed Hallelujah. Hear, O Israel, Yah our Father is one Father. Blessed be thy glorious kingdom forever and ever. Hallelujah. Praise you, Almighty. Bless you, praise you, and thank you for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We bless you, thank you for all you've done. And we ask you to keep us in your way, anoint us, and allow us to see your word in your way. Your holy word we pray. Hallelujah. 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 Praise you, Almighty. Thank you, Father. And for anybody that like to get in contact with me, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. And if you'd like to email me, you can always email me at LKHYYM. That's LKHYYM. That's LKHYYM, excuse me. If you like at gmail.com, that is. That's my email. That's at gmail.com. Also, now, just to let you know, if you want to check out the short version, which is part one and part two, you can catch the part one and part two on YouTube Live, which is Juice Pro 33, YouTube Live, Juice Pro 33, or all together. Also, you can catch the short versions on Instagram at L'chaim underscore the juice, which is LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. Again, on Instagram, that's L'chaim underscore the juice, which is LKHYYM underscore THE underscore THEJUICE. Also, if you want to see the short version on Facebook, the Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's MI apostrophe CHAEL HARRIS. On all these platforms, you can see everything in part one and part two. Now, for the full version, which is from Zoom, you can see it on YouTube video. The full version on YouTube video, which is Juice Pro 33, JUICEPRO 33, all one word, all together. Also, you can see it on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's X, formerly known as Twitter, at JUICEPRO 33. That's JUICEPRO 33, all together, on X, formerly known as Twitter. You can also see the full version on patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM. And also on rumble.com/LKHYYM. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. And last but not least, if you'd like to see me on TikTok, you can catch me on TikTok which is the same as Instagram, which is Lkhyym underscore the juice, which is spelled LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. That's LKHYYM underscore THEJUICE. And also you can check my other TikTok out with Michael the Juice Harris. My other TikTok is MICHAELTHEJUICE. Again, that's at MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. Excuse me. So now, if you'd like to get on the Zooms itself, please connect with me beforehand in order for it to connect. Like I said, you can go to Zoom, Instagram. Please, no, you can go to your email and email me at lkhyym at gmail.com, or you can text or call me at 770-572-5315 so I'll know who you are coming on, because I have a lot of trolls coming on, trying to mess up the information. So other than that, the platforms for Zoom is on Sunday, or the night after Sunday, like tonight at 9 p.m. called Fight Fire with Truth. That's Fight Fire with Truth on Sundays. And that's open conversation at 9 p.m. Now on Mondays, we have Mikhail's Knowledge of Truth, which is on Mondays at 9 p.m. Monday at 9 p.m. Mikhail's Knowledge of Truth. Now on Tuesday, you have to get in contact with us to let you know, to let us know if you want to be a part of Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. That's Introduction to Solving Class of Knowledge. That's on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Eastern. And to be determined on Wednesdays, because no one is doing that just yet. But on the Sabbath, which is they call Saturday, we're here at 12 noon with the Assembly of the Righteous. This is 12 noon, Assembly of the Righteous. Other than that, I'd like to thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. And for you, first, we're going to say bye to Zoom since you're the longest. Thank you. Appreciate you. You want to say anything, G1? Because I almost forgot you was there.
Oh, nah, just peace out to everyone. Peace. We'll catch y'all later.
All right, my brother. We'll see you then. Uh, hopefully see you tomorrow night. Be ready for tomorrow night, bro. I'm calling it Isaiah 4 and 1 coming soon.
Bet. Yes, I bet. Yeah, I'm be there tomorrow, bro. Peace.
Look forward to seeing you, bro.
You already.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.